Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Ed Castillo, former Corey Zork alumni. I'm very excited for tonight's interview. My special guest requested something different. I kind of agree because I don't know if you guys know, but I do like my liquor. So, full disclosure, we might get wasted. Feel free to drink with us as we go along. And if you have any funny questions or anything you want to ask John, just leave a comment in the comment section and we'll address it. So it's going to be really fun. Well, I already said his name, but my next guest is someone who played season 8. He made his debut on season 8, Pearl Islands, and then he came back right off. He came back for season 9, Elimination Island. He's amazing. I would say that our friendship or our acquaintance started on a weird way, and we'll talk about this later. But he's amazing. He's really funny, and everybody loves him. Please welcome my guest, John FARRELL. Hey, John, how are
Hi,
you?
Ed. We're doing wonderful.
Thank you. Well, I already said it that we're gonna be drinking. So on that note, I have a White Claw. Cheers, buddy.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go with my peach buzzball here first to start off with. So
All
cheers.
right,
Let's get this
cheers.
let's get this party started.
Already got somebody saying a shout out. Alan's like first comment.
All right, Alan, that means you need to take a drink now.
Cheers, Alan. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna be drinking, and probably I hope we're not too wasted by the end of this. But hey, we're here to have fun and talk about some good times. Um, so let's start off. You're exactly where you're from. I did kind of some try to do some stalking. Is it is it you're from Massachusetts? Is that true?
I'm from Massachusetts, Western Massachusetts, the non-Boston part of the state.
Okay, cool. How was it growing up over there?
I mean, I love the area. I mean, New England as a whole is really fun area. I mean, we get all seasons normally in like one day. Um, like today, it started off really cold, and then by 10 o'clock, it was like 80 degrees, and now it's back down to like really fucking cold. Um, I mean, I might have snow tomorrow for all I really know. I mean, the weathermen really are wrong 80% of the time, so fuck them. Uh,
Oh wow. Well, Alan asked, how was the mud run? I know you told me about this, you did this today.
yeah.
How was
I did a 5K mud run with obstacles. I'm still alive. Um, so that's the biggest thing. Wow, it looks like we got somebody from like Legends of the Hidden Temple there, the Aztec, whatever the fuck you are. I have no idea who you are, but cool. Hi, Dylan. Cheers. Oh, yeah,
so you,
my knees are all scraped up. I feel like I had a rough day as like a street walker or something. So um, it was just a rough time working the corners today because I'm all banged up on the knees.
uh well, that's very exciting, very cool. I should try that. Is that something that only happens in Massachusetts, or is it
No,
like everywhere?
they do these all over the place.
Mhm,
The brand of the one that I did called Rugged Maniac, their
mhm.
flagship from out here, but they actually travel all across the country setting up their obstacles. There's water obstacles, climbing obstacles. Um, it's just an absolute blast, and they this was their 11th one doing it, and I've done it now 9 of the years that they've had it, in right next to my hometown.
That's amazing. Did any part of you kind of had this, like, you channel your inner survivor, like, we're doing a challenge, this is a real challenge, like in Survivor, or you
Um,
just like, let me just get through this?
yeah, that's I think it was more that today.
Mm,
It was a more of a mental challenge today, because I was with a bunch of friends that had never done it before, and for some of them, they were really nervous. I stuck with one of my friends, and for both of us, we weren't completely fully in shape. So we were able to pace ourselves and really just push ourselves to the max. So,
would it be something that you would recommend to everybody to do, or is
oh,
there?
it's definitely a bucket list item. Um, it's if you are up for any sort of a challenge and you Your knees are in decent shape for running. I mean, this is a 5K, so it's not like you're running a marathon. Um, and this took place at like a motocross track, so um, it was really interesting navigating that as well because even that got muddy as we were going along.
All right, cool. Next question is, how I know this. I mean, I don't. We're not as like I feel like as close, but I do know that just from your pictures on Facebook and also like I know Corey's art. They like to use some funny pictures. I know you do theater. Tell me how did you get into theater? So I asked Ingrid last week. She did theater, so I wanted to know how did you get into theater?
Um, so I got into theater in middle school, which was many, many moons ago. Um, and my first role was in The Sound of Music, where I played one of the Von Trapp children, and had to be in like some kooky costumes and um, it was just loads and loads of fun. I mean, and to make it better, and I think this is probably what started to like get my sense of humor going during shows. During the show was when I really started to hit puberty, and my voice changed mid-show. So literally, they had me singing like the high tenor parts at one point, and then they're like, "Well, fuck it, John can do the lower parts now." So that was fun.
Is it something that you've done as an adult, like any like normal
Oh yeah.
off Broadway like
Oh no,
community
not like that.
theater?
I'll do community theater, but I've never done anything like that big.
Mhm.
I'm chair of a community theater group in my hometown Westfield, um, and we put on different shows. And so I'll work stuff with whether it's on stage, behind the scenes. But live theater is just amazing to go and be a part of or go and watch. And it's you never know what you're going to be able to experience.
What's your favorite musical?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Because it really changes with the season, pretty much. I mean, right now, I mean, I've got a bunch of different favorites. I'm going to get to go see Six, um, which is about the six ex-wives of Henry VIII, done in pretty much a rock concert. Um, and that's a fun one. I'm going to get to see that in November. That's a blast. I love Book of Mormon. Um, the Disney ones are always a classic. I see Aladdin live on stage, and watching the magic unfold was just really something special.
Will you be watching Dear Evan Hansen?
Most likely. Um, as much as I want to say no, because I've heard some people already talking about it and how they were disappointed in it, I'll watch it eventually so I can get my own opinion on stuff. Um, I still have yet to watch Cats because I've just heard from every single person that that was just god awful.
Yeah, they did not get good reviews. And I've never seen like like the movie or like a huge fan, but I do love Memory. So, um, my next question is: I know, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a teacher. Tell me
I work
what made you decide to be a teacher?
so I love helping kids out. Um,
Mm,
I've been ever since I was actually even in high school. I would teach swim lessons when I was in high school, and I've actually been doing that for 20 years now. Um, and just getting that joy of getting to have people have that light bulb moment and be able to help them reach that point of enlightenment, no matter whether it's something small, something big. I mean, I'm currently working in special ed, and and to work with those kids is a joy every single day because they come into school and they love being there. And if they can love being there, they make your day a lot easier.
that's awesome. Um, we can now move on to the part where how did you get involved with Survivor? Were you a fan since it came out, or did you just like binge watch it like this last year, like some people have on Hulu?
No, I've been. I mean, I'm one of the quote unquote older ones around, and especially in Corey's. So I mean, I'm 36 this year, so I was in high school when Survivor first came out, and it was so unique. And I love competition shows in
Mm-hmm.
general. So getting to see people just be out in the elements and just competing and having that extra element of eliminating people every single episode was something really fun and exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the finale being on, and I was working at a country club at the time, and I was getting in trouble because I kept watching the TV at the bar, because back then Survivor like was on everywhere. Like no, like you couldn't get past, like it was on in magazines, it was everywhere. And so Survivor Borneo was just really special at the time.
Mm-hmm. Were you rooting for anybody in specifically on season one?
Um, I really grew to love Kelly in that
Mhm.
season. Um, and I mean, I was a little upset that she didn't win, but you know, it happens.
Alan said this, and I do. I
Alan, you're full of shit, but thank you.
I would be drink to that because I feel like.
Exactly, yes. Mm.
I mean, I kind of agree with that. I didn't think you were 36. Honestly, I thought you were like 30, maybe 32
No,
at most.
I turned 36 in July, which I mean, I try not to act my age ever.
Mm-hmm.
If I mean, you've gotten to play with me, I always try and bring the entertainment to a game, and I never try and be like the asshole in a game that's gonna like make everyone's life miserable while we're there, because we're playing a game.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to have fun.
Yeah,
We're
that's
all
true.
there to win, but
Yeah.
might as well. I mean, I make an ass out of myself with whatever I'm doing all day. So why not just continue it on to a game setting?
Moving on from season one of Real Survivor, did you continue to watch every season, or did it die down for you, or did you eventually get back on it, or was it always your
Um,
favorite show?
there was a couple seasons that. Um, sorry, my wife's playing games in the other room and is swearing at the screen, and I just died loving it. Um, no, there was a couple seasons that it just died off for me, not because I didn't want to watch it, but you think for me back when it was first on, you pretty much, in order to watch it the next day, you had to put in a VHS, and you needed to set record on your VHS player and then be able to go back and watch it the next day. There was not really the online option or the
Mm-hmm.
audio DVR option right then. So if you weren't able to watch it live, then it was really easy to just get off track and not be able to watch it right away. So a lot of the earlier seasons, I mean, I was totally in for Australia, totally in for Africa. But then I got to college and lost track for Vanuatu. Then got back in for second half of Thailand, and then really tried to stay with it from there on out.
Then something happens. The pandemic, and everybody has to like stay in. Uh, did you always play orgs, or was it something new? Did you just start in the pandemic? And what was
That's
your
yeah.
first org?
I had never heard of orgs before the pandemic, and one of my friends at work was like, "Hey, I know you like this. Sounds like it's right up your alley. You should check it out." So I played my first org, and it was all messenger based. There was no live tribals or anything, but you would have live challenges on Facebook sometimes, and so I got into that, and then I played another one, and thanks, Austin. Um, it's me. You can't spend that much time talking about 20 years of Survivor. There's a lot that happened during that whole entire time frame.
I mean, we can circle back. We can.
We can circle back. We can circle back, but But yeah, no, I mean, I had never done that, and then it's been an addiction. I mean,
Mhm.
as I'm sure you know, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still itching for my first win. Uh,
You've never won?
I've been a runner up twice now. Uh,
Mm.
and then I mean, I've played not just Survivor. I actually just finished my first Big Brother game.
Mhm.
I've played unique style games in which it's not like Survivor or
Mhm.
Big Brother, but like they put their own unique spins. But it's still got that fun competition feel to it. I've done Skype games, Facebook games, Discord games though.
So you find orgs and you end up playing many. Is it safe to say once you decided to apply for Corey's Org Season 8, you were kind of a seasoned player. You knew what was expected and you knew what the game was about. How did you find about Corey's Org and what made you apply?
I had seen it talked about um, in one of these Survivor fan groups. And so then I just joined the page, and then I saw that I don't know who to thank for that comment, Austin or Nick yet, but we'll all get our wins one day. Um, but and I saw that they're doing Pearl Islands.
Hmm.
Pearl Islands is my favorite season. So I was
Wow.
like, this is meant to be.
Hmm.
So and I was originally an alternate for the season. Um,
Really?
I wasn't cast right away, and then Corey messaged me saying, "Hey, spot opened up. You still get to play." I was like, "Let's fucking do this," and yeah,
You get casted, and then you get put in the Drake tribe, if I'm not wrong, and you
yeah.
get to meet Sandra on the opening
Oh
night.
my
Tell me how that. I know it was just for like a couple of seconds or like maybe a minute or two. My internet cut off, so I didn't really get to see all of it. But tell me, how did it feel to be in her presence, or just
Oh my! It was jaw drop. I mean, my face has been used in other memes or advertisements. One of our viewers, Alan, I know, had used my face in that for other memes of his choosing. Um, Meme king that he is. Um, but I had never gotten the chance to meet any Survivor players like that, and then to just be on day one, just ready to go, and Sandra pops on the screen to welcome us all to Pearl Islands. It's like, is this real? And lo and behold, like she was just down to earth and ready to like
Mhm.
shoot the breeze with us for like 2 minutes, and yeah, and then we got onto our first it was challenge per se because I wasn't placed on Drake. We had to earn our way onto whatever tribes we wanted it to be.
I believe there was a villagers. I guess you would say like task.
Yeah,
Me and Ingrid were in a hut, and you went to somewhere else and you found something. I think it was an advantage.
correct.
And at the end of that, you say, "I would like to use my advantage." And I'm here, me and Ingrid, and I'm like, "What? Like, did he just say that? Like, you just started the game? Are you serious?" Why would he do that? I told myself like that's a rookie move. Like, why would he do that? Like, he just
So
because like you didn't know that you could go to the other camp and kind of like hang out with them, but you didn't know that you had to be there the whole time, and
exactly.
then you would come
All
out.
I was told was for the advantage was you get to go to the other tribes tribal when they go.
Mhm, mhm.
Perfect. I get to witness all their chaos and demise right away. I had never up to that point played an upfront game, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. I had already put myself out there. I got the first trivia question right to be the first person to choose my tribe. I was like, let's keep this ball rolling. I want people to keep me around. I want to gain some information, get people to trust me. Um, and it worked. I mean, I come back, we lose two tribals in one night, and they keep me around for both of them because they liked having me around and they liked the information that I was able to get and bring back to them.
Did you straight off make an alliance with anybody in particular? Was there any people that you wanted to like work with?
I like to feel things out. I don't like going gung ho and making those crazy day one like
Mhm.
mega alliances. I want people to get to know me and want to work with me, and then not have that regret of making an alliance on day one and realize, shit, this isn't going to work because one of us is dead weight or one of us is being a cancer to the tribe.
Mhm. You survived both tribal councils. Is it safe to say is because your personality and you're a social player, and that really got you to like, stay safe for
Yeah.
those two tribal councils?
Yeah, I mean, I ended up connecting with a lot of the. There was a ended up being a core alliance on my original tribe. I realized that they would definitely be able to splinter, um, but I ingrained myself within them, and they wanted to work with me. They knew that I was an asset for challenges, and they knew that they could trust me. So, yeah.
You didn't get to a swap. There's a swap. Talk to me about what happened because I think Jordan brought it up. Like there's something.
And this ends up being almost getting one of the top 10 moments of the season for the stupidest of reasons, because we lose an eating comp, which I'm the big guy. I mean, I'm good at these comps, but it was buzzing style, so we just got out buzzed 3 times. But we go to tribal, and the splits were ridiculous because it was 3-3 on both sides. Um, on my swap tribe, it was 3-3, and on the other side, it was 3-3 on the other side. So, I mean, shit could have gone any which way. Lo and behold, Dylan ends up having an extra vote, plays it at tribal, and they send Peter out. Jordan had thought I flipped at that point because he's like, "What the hell happened?" I'm like, "Dude, there was 7 votes. Let's count. There was 6 people on our tribe. If there's 7 votes, that means they had a power." So, plus Peter was loyal to me, so I mean, I wouldn't have taken Peter out anyway. So that would have been a completely dumb move on my part.
It seems at this point Jordan didn't really trust you either way. Do you think that he would have targeted you eventually? Since at the merge you do end up, correct me if I'm wrong, but you ended up flipping.
I did. That was, I mean, and it wasn't even because it was Jordan on that vote. I had power at that point. I had an idol. And going into the merge, it was 5-5.
Mhm.
Because unfortunately we had somebody quit due to some family emergencies and stuff going on, but they were from the original Morgan tribe. So now it's
Mhm.
back to 5-5. And lines really still hadn't gotten blurred yet at that point. So people weren't trusting anybody. I had started to try and make some deals with some other people from the original side because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to make it all the way with my original Drake people. Um, so the vote comes around and it's 5 for Jordan and 5 for Trenton. Well, I had already played my idol, so I know I'm safe regardless. Let's flip the vote and blame it completely on somebody else, because why would I have flipped? I'm already safe. It's not like I would have gone to rocks. And they believed it until one of the people that I was going to be working with then completely ratted me out one day later, which sucked. But thanks, Jordan.
So that happens, and then how does the rest of the game pan out for you? Because
Oh, I
you
was
made a
gone.
big.
I was gone because Tyler ratted me out, and I was gone the next vote. Um, I mean,
That's
I
when
had tried to.
you used the super idol.
So going back to the village, and everybody had gotten stuff, or some people had gotten stuff. Right at when my tribe was about to go to our first tribal, Alex Presser messages me and says, "Hey, I've got this." And he sends me 2 parts to what he has of what supposedly is a super idol that isn't good until after the merge. And it says you have to have both parts of this super idol in order for it to be active.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm like, really? Is this real? But I mean, there was no way to confirm whether it was real or not. So I go ahead and I try. I literally get everybody's jaws dropping because all I had told people was I have half of a super idol, when in fact Alex had actually sent me both halves of it. So it's like, well, it says you have to have both halves of it in order to, or both halves must be played in order for this to be active. So fuck it, let's go out with a bang. If this works, it works. If not, it doesn't. And it led to one of the top moments of the season because people remembered that. And I don't go out quiet into the night. Yeah, we're talking about you. Uh,
And on that note,
mm, that's one done.
damn, okay. Almost done with mine too. I will say, if it would have been real, Tristan would have been gone. Am I right?
No. If I hadn't flipped, it would have gone to rocks.
No, I was talking about
And
the super idol.
oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's where I had full on targeted Tristan because
Mhm.
Tristan was absent a lot. Tristan became the pure goat of the season, and it was so easy to put that target, that bullseye, right on his back because he was one of the 4 people that would have been eligible for the vote because both Dylan and Tyler were immune from the challenge, and then myself and somebody else I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, I think it was Matt played an idol on Parker, and so Parker was safe. And so if we had gone to rocks, Jordan would have been safe, Trenton would have been safe. The only 4 people that would have been up for the vote would have been Hardizzle, Mammers, Tristan, and Matt. So which I made sure to tell the final 3 because all 3 of those people were the ones that were up for that possible thing for rocks.
Yeah,
And I,
and also if Mammers gets chosen, she eventually becomes the winner of the season. How much would that would have changed the whole game? Any of
I mean,
those 3 who made it to the end, that is a seat for someone else to
yeah,
potentially end up over there.
yeah, exactly. Because the rest of the game after I left got like super sloppy, super messy. Tyler was a powerhouse in challenges, and Tyler gets out in that 4 spot. Which, sorry, Ed, I know that how you feel about that. But and Matt loses challenge. Matt had lost a challenge or 2 and gets knocked out. Yeah.
We get down to the final 3. Is there anybody you were rooting specifically to
The
get to the
jury
end?
the jury had was rooting big time for Tyler during the Levels of Doom. And she died, dude. That's a I know Tyler's watching, so I just had to throw that out there. It was the unscramble at the end that Tristan, Mammers, and Tyler were all at the final unscramble at the same time.
Mhm.
And it was just pure chaos, just waiting to see who was able to unscramble at first.
Is it safe to say that had he made it to the end, he hands down wins that season?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, Mammers ended up presenting a great case in the end, but it was tough to beat what Tyler had done. Had been great in challenges, had some advantages, had made some moves, and just really, yeah, had a great overall game that season.
Did you vote for Mammers, or who did you vote for in the end?
I actually I made a huge case. I didn't ask any questions. I made a case for Mammers to win.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was, I'm trying to remember, I think it was a 10-2 vote because we had all of the jury, all of the people from the beginning except Eric that had to withdraw because we had the Outcast twist, don't forget.
Mm-hmm.
And even once the Outcasts, even though they weren't able to beat either tribe, they were the start of the jury at that point.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it was a nice large jury, but
Was there anybody you were impressed during the season that you were like, "Wow, this person is serious competition. I need to watch out for them."
oh, definitely. There was tons of people that season. I mean, you had Parker, you had Dylan, Matt, Tyler. Uh, like all of them were huge, huge threats, and we've seen them in other seasons be threats again. And
Mm-hmm.
people keep bringing their names up, and they keep thriving in whatever scenario they may be.
Uh, there's this little thing that after that season there was a bit of a drama. Some feelings were hurt. And then Corey does this thing where he starts a new season. And of course, when you start a new season, you take almost like a month and a half, maybe 2 months hiatus. That doesn't happen in Corey's arc. The season literally started like maybe a week and a half later. And it
In.
was going to be 2 days, which was Elimination Island. You decide to come back, and not only you come back, but 7 other people, if I'm not mistaken, from season
Yeah,
8 come back.
yeah.
And then there's like, I don't know if you heard about this, but a lot of us who had not played with you guys were like, it's the super season 8 alliance, they're gonna stick with each other. And I know Jordan has said this, but like, you guys didn't trust each other. There was like beef. Talk to
I
me
mean,
about that.
I personally didn't have beef
Mhm.
because I tried and go into every season fresh. I mean, unless you are a complete asshole to me, then that's the only thing that will cause me to not want to work with you at all.
Mhm.
But I mean, we were spread out big time. And luckily, on my original group, we were able to form a majority alliance and um, keep some people and take out some. We didn't take out any big targets right away. We had a lot of we had floaters and no shows that were easy to take out right away. Then we get to the swap, and my swap tribe doesn't lose a single challenge. But then we merge at what was it, 16? And
17, I think.
yeah,
Maybe
something crazy.
16.
It was something crazy like that. But I mean, so we're merged already at that point,
Mhm.
and it's going to be pure chaos from there on out. Luckily, I knew there was already some big targets, bigger than me, luckily, so that were going to like be dead on targeted to try and end day one because as we merged, it was already starting to get a bit late. And, but then day one ends with my first getting blindside of the season, and Matt gets taken out. Matt had, as he does with everybody, no worries, man. Here you go. Take that drink. Take that drink. Um, but Matt has his ride or die. He told me right away, John, you're my ride or die. We're going to do this. I'm like, okay, Matt, I got you. I got you. I mean, I can only take it with a grain of salt, as Matt was also wanting to flip on me back in 8. Um, but so Matt gets taken out right as day one ends. And so I start regrouping. And start playing the sympathy card, and I'm like, oh, I just want to be here as long as I can, and I want to keep playing with y'all. This is really fun. And I start gaining the sympathy. I got Robin to work with me. I got Bianca that wants to work with me. We had a little mini alliance. I don't even know how the heck that even happened, but it didn't last that long. I mean, I even had Austin talking to me, but I knew that Austin still was the one that just smoked me, and Austin
I think
had
Austin didn't have that many options at that point.
no.
He was ready to play with.
Austin was in charge of all day one and did a great
Mhm.
job.
Yeah, day two
But
after Nick gets blindsided, Austin's face just said it. Like I think there's a moment where he's like, there's a safety chain alliance. I mean, not elimination, which is immunity. Who gets immunity? And there's a point when he's like asking Corey, he's like, who's left? He's like, oh, this person. He's like, oh, so basically everybody who lied to me. And I'm just like, ugh. And it's true. Like everybody lied to him. Like, and he's at the bottom, but he manages to stay, until final seven. But
yeah,
I'm kind of getting ahead of myself because I wanted to ask you what really made you decide to come back for season 9 after, just doing season 8. Do you think that you would have a target on your back? And were you kind of like skeptical of who you would see from your original season coming back to play season 9?
the perfect answer. I have no fucking clue. Um, I mean, I wanted to come back because I knew it was going to be a 2-day season and it was just going to be
Mhm.
pure chaos, which I would have thrived off of. Like I
Mhm.
lived for the chaos. Um, and as we all know, chaos it was. Um, and I had no idea who was coming back. I actually made it a goal to not pregame, which I know was difficult for so many people. I had people approaching me saying, "Hey, you gonna play? Let's work together." And lo and behold, some of those same people were ones that wanted to try and target me early on. But it was like, let's have fun. These are a whole bunch of just small, ridiculous challenges. Just be goofy. We had Name That Tune. We had um, Dress Like Your Tribe challenges. We had
Mhm.
small trivia challenges. We day 2 we actually had an endurance comp.
That you
Um,
want?
I won. I mean, I can still brag that I am tied for the record for most immunity wins in
I
one season.
believe it's 5.
I've,
5.
because I won one on day 1
Mhm.
when we had the triple tribal.
Mhm.
Um, and that was the name of the TV theme song round. And then I won 4 on day 2, winning the last 3 to get me to the end game.
You also ended up getting an advantage, which I realized because when it came out, I saw the people that had seen that thing, and then it said, I think it was Corey's like soft or whatever, and
Yeah,
so I was like, hmm. And I look, and your name is one of them. Sarah's the other one. She's a host. Somebody else,
yeah.
I think Tyler was a host. And it's myself and someone else. And I'm like, well, I don't think that person got it, so it has to be John. And I go to my alliance. I'm like, John has it. John has it. He has an idol. If we need to get
And it
rid of him,
wasn't even
he's
an idol.
dangerous.
Like
I know.
it was,
I
it
was
was
just like super scared of you because I
yeah.
could tell you would be dangerous. And, I'm getting ahead of myself, but spoiler alert, you do end up, making it to the end. And so I knew, I'm like, I could never get anybody to do it. I was like, we need to vote for John. Anytime they told me, or there was an opportunity for me to vote for you, I voted for you. And you still didn't go.
I mean, that's why literally at final, I'm asked what the one word to describe my game. I was scrappy. I knew my name was being tossed around, but I'm gonna do whatever I can to make sure that I'm not the one going.
Yeah.
Um, so
So you end up, winning yourself to the end, and then there's a final 4 challenge. You end up winning, and then you get to choose who you're gonna take to the end. You choose to take Miranda, and then me and Kiana go to like fire. Uh, I get 4th place again, and then you
so
make
sorry.
final 3. It's okay. I mean, I had fun.
Well,
Honestly, I was like,
well,
"There's no way."
it's funny because the one thing that if I could ever go back and change wouldn't be that I would take you. It would be that
Mhm.
give up immunity to face Keanu in
Mm, I would have,
because
I would have gotten 3rd place then.
well, it's,
No, yeah, that's still good.
I mean, I
'Cause
don't know because
no, people, the jury,
it
the
all depends
jury
upon
has.
who it all depends upon who won that challenge. Because had I won that challenge, I think I would have won this season.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
had I lost and Keanu makes it, what happens then? Because we all know that what the jury was feeling about Keanu. So
I mean, it's multiple people from the jury have told me that I do not win that season, and I get why, because like season the day one, I did, try to get as much control, and I was kind of like, I know, and like to an extent, I never was targeted, like my name was thrown out, but I never received a vote, one single vote. And Miranda, of course, she played an idol on me, and so did Keanu, but I do feel like Keanu was in control like throughout the game, and so was Miranda. So I absolutely was happy when she won. And I also I said it, like I was like, any of you three who win, you guys, congratulations. And I know you worked your ass off with John, because at the end you had to like literally fight to get to the end, because like it was me, Miranda, and Keanu, and we're like, if he doesn't win immunity, he's gone, like that.
yeah, I mean,
So
look at it. At 6, I would have gone.
mhm,
At
mhm,
5, I would have gone. At 4, well, I would have been sent to fire. But any one of those situations, had I lost, I was done.
mhm,
I won Jeopardy on the final question. I won the Sporkle challenge,
mhm.
and then I won. I mean, I'm good at slides, so I mean that helped. That was one of the challenges for the levels at Final Four. But
Yeah. You get to the end, and you actually, I believe it's a 7-5 vote count. You got
Mhm.
5 votes. How did it feel that you didn't win, but you got 5 votes to win?
It felt it was mixed emotions. As much
Mhm,
as I was hurt that I lost,
mhm,
I really respected the game that Miranda played, and I was happy that like it was one of the two of us, and that she was the one to end up taking it. Um, because that was my first time even making it to an end game. I had never
mhm.
made it to final at that point. I've only made it twice to to a finale. So
Yeah, I get that. I feel like if I would have been, oh yeah, if I would have been more cutthroat. I mean, then again, like no one. It's I was, I don't know. It's weird because I did wanted to make moves, but I was kind of like, there's so many people that I was cutting, because like
yeah,
I had like made deals with people, and I was like, I can't take 7 people to the end, so I'm gonna be turning on people,
yeah,
and then even the people that I didn't break my word to, and they were still kind of like, I guess not salty, but they were still like disappointed, which was, I mean, it's fair. I mean, it's just a game, but
oh yeah,
um, I mean, I didn't receive a single vote, and I got fourth place again after just playing season 7.
yeah,
So I was proud of myself, and I had just won an org like maybe like 2 weeks ago. So I generally just wanted to like play with my friends and like go
yeah.
and do this. I knew it was
Very,
gonna be crazy, so I was kind of like happy. I was kind of like sad for the way that Keanu, like, at the end of tribal, like how it ended for him, that,
yeah.
because it is just a game. But I mean, for him to get to the end again, that was really cool. And for you and
Yeah.
Miranda, any thoughts on season 9? Do you want to reflect on
So,
that? Like,
so day 2 was an
mhm,
absolute crazy blast. So not only did we have all of that, we had the joy of getting to meet and talk to Kelly Wentworth.
mhm,
Thank you, Austin, for that one, by the way. Um, day 2 for me was an absolute crazy shit show. Not even just because of the game, because I had just gotten my first dose of the vaccine that morning.
mhm,
So I was definitely feeling a little wibbly wobbly from that. And also, I had had half a bottle of Screwball at that point. During, yeah, during all of day 2, I was just drinking it straight from the bottle and just was like, let's fucking have some fun. And
yeah,
I mean, to win that balance endurance comp while partially inebriated, um, was fun. And then, I mean, if you go back and watch the video, I literally like broke down in like some tears after I won levels, because I was like, I'm here. Like this is
mhm.
my first time at the end game.
Yeah.
And it was just really crazy and fun to just be at that stage. And it was so weird because normally in games you have a day, 48 hours
Mhm.
to prepare for a final tribal. Well, we had 10 minutes
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
try and make an opening speech and get ready for the jury to question us. And I had to try and regather my thoughts after just having such an emotional rush of having, like I said, survive the last 3 challenges in order to just make it there.
Yeah.
Sorry. My wife is literally swearing at Mario in the other room, and it's an absolute just joy to like have that squirrel moment going on in the background.
I can't even hear it, so you're good. um, Dan, I know this is your last time you've played in Corey's Arc, but you've also played in other orgs. I know that you played in Broski.
I
Talk to
did.
me how that was for you.
Well, it was weird because I got placed on. It was a Rebels versus Saints season.
Mm.
I got placed on the Rebels side. And it's not because I'm the type of person to just go out and be a chaotic, like, asshole that's going to just try and, like, make everybody's life miserable every single turn. But I'm a methodical, like, person that's going to, like, watch your every move. And if you're going to be in my way to make the end, I will take you out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they put me there. Well, lo and behold, my tribe loses the first 4 immunity challenges. And it was just we also had coaches that season. We had a rebel
Mm-hmm.
coach, they had a Saints coach.
I think it was Kenny and Breland.
Yeah, fuck you, Kenny Mack. But yeah, our coach ends up getting kicked out because that much of a dick. And like, I mean, he even like leaves like on a low note too. Like in another chat, he's like fat shaming me and calling, like, making fun of somebody else, like, for being LGBTQ. It's like, fuck you, dude. Get out. Don't even come back. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
I really used that once I heard about that as motivation to get myself as far as I could in the game, even though we didn't have the numbers anymore. We managed to win 1 challenge as a tribe, on our original group, and then we go into swap and we lose another person from our original, which the other side also lost 1 too. But so we go into swap down 3 in number, sorry, go into merge down to 3 in numbers, and we're like, well, this is going to be a fucking uphill battle, and we start making some cracks and we start chipping away. But of course, I'm playing with people that are labeled as rebels. And what do? They start getting over chaotic. It's like, just shut your mouth. Let's just play the game. I know there's a couple people that have played with, who's a friend of mine now, but he is the craziest person I've ever had to play a game with. King Carl, he goes by, Carl Davino. He's an absolute blast to play with, but he is extra upon extra. Yeah, and he made so many waves and just started trying to throw all of the rest of our names out. It's like, dude, why? Stop throwing our names out. We can just all take you out. And we did. So, and then another person or two just started being extra. And so then all of a sudden the numbers get down to 6-3, 6-2. And then we started finally making some moves. And myself and the only other rebel left in the game, we managed to take out a couple big names in the game, and we make it to final 6. And I get out with 2 other people playing idols. And and it was a 2-2-2 vote. And each of the other 2s got idols played on them. And I was the lone man out. So
With only 2 votes.
with 2 votes, yeah. But It's the way the cookie crumbles. I mean, I've twists are not my friend. I mean, whereas puzzles are your kryptonite in games, twists are not my friend.
It's all good and fun until someone plays an idol.
Yeah.
You then play season 3 of animation. Talk to me how that went because I know that you made it really far. What was
And
your
again,
journey for
I mean,
that?
that one was a crazy fun one because each of their seasons is based off of um, a specific cartoon animated TV show or
Mhm,
animation in general because they had a whole entire season based on Disney. And my season was based off of Total Drama Island,
mhm.
a show about teens playing Survivor. It's completely stupid, but it's absolutely hilarious, and so fitting. Um, and they took a lot of the elements from the show and brought and incorporated them in. We had I had my first creative comp win um, ever. Um, Granted, it was for doing a gross out eating challenge, which whatever. That's again my forte is doing stupid shit like that. But again, I make it to final five, and then they throw a twist at us at five.
I
And
will say that also something that I will mention that tribal before the twist gets played. Tyler
yeah,
calls Corey, you, Evan, and I think that's it. Somebody else, Anthony.
Anthony,
He calls you guys out for not talking to him
yeah.
at all, and you guys go like, "Oh no, it's just a game," and this and that.
Well, the thing is, I tried to stay back as much as
Mhm,
I could until he
mhm,
throws my name out and like does something stupid. And it's like, look, here's where you fucked up. And you know me, I don't get aggressive at tribals like that.
mhm. Yeah.
I am normally very level-headed at tribals, or I'm trying to just answer very politically. But when you attack me like that, I'm not gonna just sit idly by and take it. And he had done some things that were just stupid. Like he loses the challenge right before at final five. He leaves the challenge before we even crown like the person to win immunity. Like it's like stay on the call, play the game out, be has a little bit of good sportsmanship, and be there. Yeah, he tried to reach out to me right afterwards, but I'm not going to respond with a yes or no right away. I'm going to talk to the other person that he had thrown out the idea for first. I'm going to actually sit and like try and contemplate things before I actually try and commit to things because I'm not going, especially at that stage in the game. Why be stupid and lie about something like that when when I have no reason to? And
And
then
then
yeah, then we get
let
the twist. And during the actual TV show, they had an episode in which they were talking to all the jury. And at one point, they say, okay, jury, you can eliminate one person in the game. Well, they didn't want to give the jury that much power. So they gave the jury the option to nominate two of the five and have everybody just vote between those two. Everybody still left in the game vote between those two. I was
mhm.
the top vote getter. I was the second most vote getter because people hadn't realized how the under the radar game that I was playing. I was making moves, but people just weren't seeing them. And had I made it to the end game, people would have been able to see them because I would have easily picked someone out. But it was a 2-1 vote to take me out, and strangely enough, I was surprised to find out later on Tyler was the one person to keep me. And so Tyler managed to, by me actually laying out exact reasons at tribal, Tyler grew that little bit of respect for me.
Mhm.
So, which that was great to hear.
The season comes to an end. Corey wins. That was season 3. Then
Yeah,
you do season 4, which was I think
that
I'm
was
not
Disney,
sure.
Magic Kingdom.
Disney Magic Kingdom. Lane wins that, and then season 5 is All Stars. All Stars just finished.
Yeah.
You were casted in the cast of All Stars. What were you Did you wanted to do it? Did you
Oh,
hesitate at all?
no, you get named as an all-star, that's a
Mhm,
fucking badge of honor. I mean,
mhm,
I had never been labeled as an all-star for anything in my life, whether
mhm.
it's sports, like anything. So, I mean, to be asked to come back as an all-star for an org, that was really special, especially since this is their first all-star game. I knew I had to change up my game a little bit, but still bring a lot of the same energy.
Yeah. You get casted, and then the season starts right off the bat. The first tribal council, Lane plays that super idol. Crazy season.
Yeah.
Was it at that point that you realized, oh shit, this season is about to be crazy?
I
Like
mean, I literally said it every chance I get. This
this
is
is this all stars.
All-Stars, baby. And you got to remember that every single time that you're just talking to anybody, that you're playing with All-Stars. You're playing with people that have earned their way to be there. And it's going to be an uphill battle the whole entire way.
You end up making it a couple of rounds. You also there was a tribal council that you played the spaghetti kiss, which you
Yeah.
forced. Talk about that.
I mean, I had earned that advantage doing a karaoke challenge, which was kind of fun to do. And I was able to steal somebody else's vote and make it duplicate whatever I had done for a vote.
Mhm.
So, we go into what we had heard is a triple tribal, and it's all three tribes going together to tribal at the same exact time. So 17 people all going to tribal at once, and they gave us 24 hours to talk about it. Of course, insanity is going to ensue,
Mhm.
and it was an absolute shit show. And then we get to tribal, and it's even more of a shit show.
Mhm.
So I had thought that we had had 8 in numbers, but just to be sure, that's why I played that advantage to make sure that we had 9. 9 out of 17, we're golden.
Is that the tribal that Luke went out?
That is the tribal that Luke went on.
Yeah. Wow. Uh, you end up getting voted out. What was it that led to your demise in your eyes?
Oh, I know exactly what it was because during that first 17-person tribal, I tried making a move to try and take out one of the power people in the game, for Justin Vreeland. Word gets back to him afterwards, and we go to another 17-person tribal after doing a 24-hour awake-a-thon.
Mhm.
Everybody's tired, everybody's miserable. We literally have 2 hours this time trying to figure out what we're going to do. And the other side had the numbers advantage. They had 9. My current tribe had 8. So like,
Mhm.
fuck, what advantages do people have? And we had a couple. If we don't have a name, then we can't do anything about it. So they were very tight-lipped for the most part, and it was my name that got thrown out because I had thrown the power players' names out there, and sayonara. But I mean, lo and behold, I mean, I would have
He
been.
becomes
He ends up winning the whole entire game. It's like, look, don't let him get far.
yeah. Uh, did you have a lot of expectations? I know this is kind of like a yes answer, but what were some of the things that you wanted to accomplish in an All Star season?
I wanted people to remember me, and
Hmm.
that's the thing, is because I was still not as I'm still not as known in the community. So I mean, I wanted to really like have that imprint. I
Hmm.
mean, I didn't want to be known again as I want to be known as the fun player that people can talk to, people can approach, and that people want to work with in the game, whether they take me out or not. If they remember that another time that they play with me, that's what I want them to take out of it.
Because I feel like, I mean, I think I've used this, but like sometimes someone's reputation does, get to them to another game. Like some people like, oh, like, well, Ed is this person. Like, I'm not gonna play with him because people have told me this and that. So I do see that happening with other people in different games, you kind of build this reputation, whether it's a good one or a bad one. So I think it's good that you want this reputation. Like, hey, John's fun. He's a loyal guy. He'll have my back. Um, is there any game you want to play in the future? Any other org that you haven't played that you want to apply?
In the future, there's definitely, there's so many games out there,
Hmm.
and I would love to try them all. I mean, there's only so many days in the week, so many weeks in the year, and so many games you can play at once. I've
Hmm.
tried doing the playing multiple games at once, and it just burns you out for one, and then you also just don't play as well.
Yeah.
You get messy, you get sloppy. I mean, wish it was actually kind of nice because I was playing two games at once. Um, during All Stars animation, and after I got voted out, I was able to focus on my Big Brother game. Made it to final two, lost in the end, but made it all the again. That was the only other game I've been able to make it to finale. Um, and when you're able, and it goes to show you when you're able to put all your thoughts and effort into a game, you're going to perform a lot better.
Yeah. I will say, and this ties into something that happened that I noticed in the amazing, because you actually are one of the teams of the final eight, if I'm not mistaken, or seven, seven, seven. Yeah, I forgot. Um, you're playing the Amazing Race alongside Ingrid, and your team is Teen Sassy and Drunk.
We're drunk and sassy.
Drunk and Sassy. I'm not drunk, I promise.
Yeah.
But talk to me how that's been going on for you guys. I love everybody. I'm obviously rooting for you guys as for the other 16s, but talk to me how that's been. It's not. Um,
I mean, it's been a crazy shit show to be perfectly honest, but I mean, I cannot ask for a more fun,
mhm,
better person to be partnered up with than Ingrid. I
mhm.
mean, both hungry to compete. Like we want to like go out there and get the win. I mean, we haven't finished first in any legs yet. We've come close a couple times, but we're always pushing ourselves to be better in every single leg.
Yeah, and then she did mention this in her interview that you guys play to your own strengths. Like maybe you have some and she has different, and you just contemplate each other,
And
complement each
yeah,
other.
like
Um,
yeah, when we get to like find shit on Instagram. Okay, Ingrid, that's yours. Yeah, I look at that. I'm like, okay. I mean, but we had one of the first challenges on leg one was eat stuff. I got it. Don't worry. um, we had a challenge during the last leg of either um, find specific brand names and take selfies with them, or do a whole bunch of like extra bunch of celebrity like knowledge and find gifts of them. I'm like, I really don't feel like doing the research for that, so let's just try and risk it and do the brand name. So we had two of them. So I luckily was out and about, so I ran to stores and found the other two. And then we get lucky and we get a do karaoke to this song. And Ingrid's got the voice, and so Ingrid does it. And I'm like, okay, Ingrid, you got this. I just had to take a selfie with a Budweiser sign right outside the liquor store. So I'm going to go on in here and I'm going to restock while you're doing your song right now.
there's something that I noticed, and you can correct me if I was wrong, but there's one time that you're in an animation tribal council. They're asking you a question, and then I'm not sure, but it seems like you guys are doing a leg from the Amazing Race, and you're trying to like work on something. They ask you a question, you kind of answer it, you mute yourself, and then Mike was like, John, and then it's just silent, and I'm laughing because
So
I'm
I
like,
literally at that point was checking in on a leg. And I'm trying to tablet in one hand where I'm checking in. I've got trouble going on in front of me. And it was just the like utmost of crazy timing.
Yeah, I
Um,
was like, he's probably like doing something for the Amazing Race, and it was funny because like Michael's like, I think he was done talking or something, and I was just like, oh my god, John, playing two games at the same time.
I mean, it was just the timing of it all. I
Yeah.
mean, we just, yeah.
You also, I know this because I recently found out about this, but I think I had seen it before, but I just got reminded about this. You're a host. You host the game. I think it's called
Yes.
Cerberus.
Cerberus, yes.
Cerberus.
Yes.
Alongside with Sarah and Nicole from
Yes.
animation. Nicole played with you in animation, right?
She just played with me in All Stars, but she had
Mm,
played in the Magic Kingdom season. We had actually met during a Skype org back last September. Um,
mhm,
and we had that was the alliance that the three of us had formed. Was we wanted it was like the three-headed devil dog. It's like we wanted to like be those power people to like seek and destroy. I got voted out early, so we didn't end up really getting to test that alliance or anything.
mhm.
Luckily, Sarah went on to win the season, so one of us was able to take the crown. But we had our first season. We had managed to do a Battle of the Sexes season during the first one. Um, and we brought a lot of Greek mythology into that first season. But now we're trying to change up our game a bit just to try and bring something unique. We're going to try and bring out some 1 week games where we play a whole entire season in just 1 week because we know that some people can't commit a whole lot of time. But if you have 1 week and we tell you exactly when that 1 week is going to be, then it can be a fun time. And we're getting ready to uh, unleash all the applications and put out our icon for season 2. And it's going to be a really fun one.
Do you also, I think season one, Matt played on your first season?
Yes, Matt played. I had the honor during awards night of giving Matt the worst move of the season, um, as he had flashed an idol literally during a challenge, and um, then didn't play it, and proceeds to get voted out during the same exact travel. It's like, dude, play your fucking idol.
Oh my god, Matt. Ah, that was so devastating. I know that he was playing the game, and then I think this was he got voted off. And then we did
It
game
was right
changers.
as Game Changers was pretty much starting up,
Mhm.
so he was really able to focus on Game Changers after that, which was good for him.
Um, anything you can tell us about season two from your
So
game that you can tell
yeah,
us?
so we decided to completely. I mean, we're keeping the same name, of course.
Mhm.
We're like, what else can we do with this? Instead of just keep going the same Greek route every single time, what else can we do? So it's October next month. We are doing it revolving around haunted houses. Welcome to the Hounds of Hell.
Oh, that's cool, especially with like Halloween. Will you be doing applications soon?
Yes, applications will be coming out very shortly.
Mhm.
We're just editing everything before we send it out there so we can make sure to get all the details.
What is something you could tell people so that they can apply if they're on the fence? If like I know that you mentioned, which is for me, because like I know I don't like playing two games at a time because I know it's so time consuming. And I think if Jeremy has said it in the comments, come on mediums. I'm
Yeah,
sure that's like it's a week, so it's not too long, so people
exactly.
can really get into it.
And if you know you're free, you know you're
Mhm,
free. That's the
mhm,
thing. I mean, we understand that things come up during games and people have to medevac themselves out due to emergency situations. But there's nothing worse than playing a game and people just completely being inactive or just ignoring a game that's going on.
yeah.
And so if you're able to dedicate 1 week out of your time, say you've never even played an org before, this can be your
Mhm.
intro. It might be a little bit more chaotic with it being a little bit more faster paced, but it's faster paced, and you're able to get it done in shortly over a week. Um, we also take pride in the fact that we interview everybody that
Mhm.
applies
Mhm.
because we want everybody to play the game to be comfortable, and we don't want people to have to play with people that are going to necessarily harm anybody else that's playing in a physical, emotional way at all.
Mhm.
Um, and we also want to make sure that we get really awesome players playing.
Mhm.
Um, when we had our first season, almost half of our players had never done an org before.
Mhm.
Our eventual winner dominated the second half of the game, and she had never played a game before in her life.
Wow.
So, yeah, she was just a huge Survivor fan, but then won 5 immunities, I think it was, including like the last couple. And I mean, she really didn't even need to do that, but it
Mhm.
just solidified to the point that she was that much of a powerhouse.
Yeah. Well, everybody, make sure you look out for the applications for John's second season. I'm sure it's going to be great. And on a note of Survivor, are you excited that Survivor is finally back on? Last Wednesday was the first episode. Any thoughts on the first episode and just the theme? And after almost a year and a half of hiatus because of pandemic, what are your thoughts? What are your expectations? Is there anybody you're specifically rooting for?
I'm rooting for the people that are on my fantasy draft. Um,
Fair
um,
enough.
yeah, no, I want them all to bring it. I want them to bring it every single time. First episode, it was like being a kid in a candy store. Like it was such like I was giddy, like just watching it, like watch them be excited to be there, be able to watch. I can't even remember the tribe names to be honest, because they're not anything that's really easy to rattle off. The only one that I can remember is Ua because it's 2 letters. Like, that's green. Um, I know
I
they're
think
blue.
it's Yasa
Yep.
uh Rua or something like that. I don't know. I know this is Yasa, the one that I'm
Yep.
wearing the buff.
Oh, it's the yellow. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, watching, I can't remember the name of the Blue Tribe, right in the Marooning Challenge. Spoiler alert, but it hasn't watched it. But they literally were trying to paddle away with their boat still clipped in, and they make it like 10 feet. But
Mhm.
because they're paddling the anchor
Mhm.
off of the ground, it's like
Yeah.
okay, that shows at least that you're powerful enough to like pull on the anchor,
Mhm.
but they still fucked up enough to not get the reward. So
Yeah. Funny enough, well, spoiler alert, they did mess up with that, but they redeemed themselves on the immunity challenge because they were the only tribe to win immunity. I thought it would be two, but Jeff is really like he's really throwing it down. He's not messing around.
26
He's
days,
like
26 days. They got to. I
in
mean,
in a
but then they still almost fucked that challenge up
Mhm.
because they didn't make sure all of their sandbags were on the platform. They literally pushed the whole entire cart down all the
Mhm.
way, had to push it all the way back, have somebody run down, fix the bag, then do the whole entire thing all over again. So for them
Yeah.
to come all the way back, I actually think that's going to put a bigger target on their back going
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, it's one of those little things that you make a little mistake, and well, I mean, we've seen it in orgs. Like, I mean, I've played where like one little thing you get penalized, that's different. The difference between going to tribal council and maybe even going home. Getting voted off because you never really know. Lubu, Jordan just put it in the comments. The blue tribe, his name is Lubu. But yeah, I think that Blue Tribe was really lucky the fact that they got the win because it seems like every single tribe had their thing where someone was in trouble from my perspective. I did like that they gave us a little bit more information on every person. It wasn't just like clearly this person is Purple Kelly of the season. So I do like that because you kind of like root for other people. I
Yeah.
personally didn't do a fantasy draft, but there's people that I do want to root for, and I'm rooting for, and there's always people that I'm like, I don't know, and they just win me over because they're so like strategic and just their journey. So I'm definitely excited. I hope we get new tribal music because I love that as a fan.
Yeah.
Anything else you're excited about for this
I mean,
season?
I would love to see the intro come back. I miss seeing everybody like see
Hmm.
the pop up on the screen as they
Yeah.
do the intro music, like you're saying.
Hmm.
And I want to see that come back. I
Hmm.
mean, I'd love to see what big brand new challenges they see come out and what else the creative team can come up with, because some of the ideas had become stale. They started reusing a lot of the same ideas, and it's like, come on, make like give us something new. I mean, it's like we're the huge fans that we are. Reward us for just being here and coming back after all this time and still wanting to see this happen on our screens. Um, I mean, the brand new twist is definitely intriguing to say the least. I mean, it's a long shot. It really is. But I mean, what's the difference between that and a 50-50 coin? I mean, it's a game of chance. I mean, a coin flip, yeah, it's a 50-50 odds compared to a 1 in 6 odds. Um, yeah, you're right, Austin. But I mean, he might not have seen it because everybody all of a sudden was rushing back all at once. Um, and I mean, we couldn't tell exactly how far Luvu had gotten down the track. I mean, because once you start pushing that, your momentum is keeping you going, and it's hard to stop that sled on a dime if you get told by Jeff, "Well, you fucked up, go back." So, but if you notice, going back to Austin, Jeff never cleared them. He
Hmm.
says, "Luvu, you're good." So, for the other two tribes, he actually told them, "You're good." They just assumed they were good, which they are good, but they just weren't good in that moment.
I think also like he put it, I think it was Danny or
Mhm.
Deshaun. They put
Yeah,
it in there and then they just slide it off into the side.
exactly. They
So it
didn't.
looked like I didn't think
They
they saw it and like, oh, it's good, and then they just fell.
they rushed it. They rushed it. They
Mhm.
rushed it. And what happens when you rush? You make mistakes.
Mhm.
So you need to take your time. I mean, we see this happen in orgs all the time. When you have
Mhm.
a challenge going on, if you rush doing like say during an endurance comp, and you have a transition that you need to make, and you rush it, what's going to happen? You're going to drop because you're whatever it is going to fall apart.
So they end up winning immunity. Lubu, Yasa, and Ua have to go to tribal council. The first tribal council, it seems like I knew the fact that they were targeting Tiffany. I was like, she's not going anywhere. This is like classic editing where like someone
Yeah.
gets the target and it switches onto somebody else. Were you surprised by Abraham being the first one gone, or do you just saw it coming?
I mean, I agree with you that I saw that it was going to flip and that it was going to be Abraham be the one to go. However, I think it was the right decision by them. No,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, he literally was the one to carry them to the point that they got. It was the other people to be the ones to royally fuck it up. They got their only physical strength person out of the game. I mean, I don't know what Voce is going to be able to bring. I don't know what hippie dude's going to be able to bring either. Uh,
Xander.
yeah, Xander. I mean, their ladies look good, but Tiffany, I mean, she's made a couple mistakes already too. So I mean, it could be her name on the chopping block next time they go because
um,
they like her energy, but energy can only take you so far, especially in a limited game like this.
yeah, that's true. I also feel like it maybe because it was only 2 days, that it was kind of they usually they have 3 days and it didn't really have that much time to like really, like bond, I guess, or it was kind of like Winners at War, where it's like, okay, we have tribal council, and it's only been 2 days. Someone's going out, and there's only 6 people. I've been my first org. I was in a tribe of 6, and that org it moved so fast. And on top of that, one of our 6 got taken to the other tribe captive, like he was safe, and so it was down to 5 of us. And there's
But
very little for you to hide. Like, and
yeah,
it's like first impressions. So for someone to stay like Tiffany, obviously she did something right by bonding with people. And like maybe they think that they can just get rid of her at maybe going forward, but in a way, I do think like you have to keep the tribe strong, otherwise they're going to be there again. But you never know. Maybe they'll win. They'll come from behind. Survivor. Anything can happen.
You're exactly right. I mean, we see two of the three people that go to the summit pick up that extra vote, which I mean, who knows what that can end up meaning down the line. I'm sure for at least one of them, it's going to be an important vote.
Yeah. And then we get to the second tribal with Ua, and that's when it got spicy for me because on the first tribal, someone's getting up, and they're like, "What is going on?" What were your thoughts when you saw that tribal council? Because I feel like that gave me animation vibes, like people throwing it down, throwing names out. Like, what do you want to do? I will do what you
It
want to
was a
do.
live fucking tribal, and I love live tribals. I mean, I've been a part of a live tribal before, and it's insanity. I mean, I actually thought Brad was going to be the one to go after Brad's huge guffaw back at camp, literally telling somebody, "I think it should be one of the two of you."
And one of them is right there. Both of them are right there. Like, that's like you don't do that. You don't do that. Like, I mean,
that's a rookie move, especially to try the 6.
I mean, he's just like a very honest guy, and I get it. He's trying to play the honest game. Like, hey, it is what it is. We gotta, whoever is at fault, like own up and like should take the fall. But I think you don't do that because clearly you know that you're voting for one of them too. So now they're gonna vote for you. You have 2 votes against you in the tribe of 6. They just need to get 1 more or 2 more, and then you're gone just because of that comment. And I think in the moment, maybe he's a person that can lie on the spot. Like if someone asks you something, like, "Are you voting for me?" You lie. You got to do what you got to do, especially in the season that's 26 days. That's something else that they changed. It's not 39 days. Like this game is going to move really, really fast. And it kind of was like, to me, it was like, well, this is kind of like an orc, because it's roughly around like 20 days when you play an orc, like 26, like day by day by day by day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're exactly right. And I mean, I honestly was also surprised that JD didn't get a single vote. After the target had been on JD the whole entire episode, after so many guffaws that JD makes, nobody puts his name down. Ricard even gets. Oh, Colin wants to know if you're drunk off your ass yet.
No, because I've been drinking White Claw. But you know what, Colin? Just because you said that,
There we go.
I'm pulling out the white rum.
Just as an update, I am currently on my 3rd buzzball now.
If anybody is watching has any drinks, cheers, guys.
I'm having my buzzballs and my crab chips. Shout out to non-sponsor Utz. Thank you for making some high-quality product.
Thank you to our sponsor for tonight, Big Rat Productions. Is actually sponsoring this interview alongside with what was it? Jack Frost Sparkling Seltzer. Get your White Frost on. And other sponsors are Wanda and Cosmopolitans. Shout out. Oh my god, here we go. I'm trying to make a rum coke.
Coke. Fuck that, Ed. Just drink right from the bottle. I told you that's the only way to do it. I mean, we go back to season 8. I had a question brought up by JP during Tribal. Literally interrupts Tribal Council to go, "John, are you drinking Jack Daniels straight from the bottle?" Yes, I am. Okay.
Well, John, cheers, because bitches do it for themselves.
There we go.
Oh my god, that's strong. We also have my John Morrison action figure.
Johnny Nitro.
Yeah, since we have a John here in the interview, I might as well bring out the other John that I.
I don't know. I'm sure you've seen it by now. I've started to use the Shane McMahon entrance music as like my theme music pretty much during like challenges or during tribals, like because I've my
Can,
adopted
can,
name
can,
of
can you put it right now? Can you do it right now?
Hold on. Give me 30 seconds.
I'm thinking of another sponsor. Panina Productions is also sponsoring this episode, all the way from Malta. And J Targaryen Designs. Get your best shoes and best garments at J Targaryen Designs. The House of Whitney. I promise I'm not drunk yet. I'm just trying to be funny.
Didn't you know the House of Whitney has actually experienced a red wedding right now, and they are going through some suffering times.
Oh, damn. The North remembers.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 dollar, 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 dollar. Cheating, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
Good evening, this is your boy J Money coming in live. So this is the one thing that a lot of you do not know is that I actually hosted a radio show back in college, and it was actually dubbed the J Money Show.
Is there some? Can you do a little bit like maybe some? If you were to host something about like the orcs, how would you do it in the radio? And what songs would you play? Would you put some Snoop Dogg for Alan and
No
Wu-Tang?
Snoop Dogg. No. I mean, I might play some Wu-Tang for Robin just because that's
G-Wormy, who would that be? G-Wormy sound editing.
G-Wormy live bait and tackle shop.
Shout out to them. But yes, you just reminded me. You used to do radio. Talk to me how that was.
It was an absolute blast because my scheduled time slot was on Friday evenings from 6 to 8. So I considered myself the pregame show for anybody that's going out partying and whatnot, because this is just on a college radio station. And almost everybody else there's like, oh, I'm going to play all this indie music. Fuck that noise. I want to play stuff that people can get bumping to. Thanks, Colin. Yeah. Sponsored by Austin's Shop of Idols. Fully in stock, but apparently never good anywhere in any tribal council.
So you ended up doing radio. Was there any song that they asked you to play that you were annoyed by that got a lot of requests? Or
I had free reign. The only thing that I couldn't do was play anything that was top 40 within like the last 2 months. So I played a lot of like one-hit wonders, stuff from the 90s, 80s music. Shout out to Finolito Mexican restaurant, specializing in burritos. But no, I wanted to play all high energy stuff. So that way, as people are getting ready to go out for the weekend, they could have that like fun lasting note. And every single show started with the Shane McMahon entrance music, because I had to start my show with we had to do news at the top of every hour, which was absolutely hysterical because you didn't have to take local news. You just had to take certain news articles from the Associated Press. So I took it upon myself to take the most random news stories that I could find from the Associated Press and then read those stories off on air. Then after that, we had to also play PSAs that people had made, and we had the most random PSAs that people made. Like we had one that like somebody was almost like pseudo rapping about avocado, and it was just you had to find like I hated finding like the boring news stories or anything like that.
Mhm.
I was gonna play stuff that was all just like campfire guitar music. I wanted to like play stuff that people are going to be able to like, sing along with and whatnot. And I actually got yelled at by one person because I actually played Tommy Two Tone 8675309 in parentheses Jenny. And they're like, you can't play that. That was a top 40. I'm like, that was a top 40 hit over 20 fucking years ago. Go away.
Were you disappointed when you stopped doing that? Would you like to do something similar to that or not?
I mean, I tried getting back into it outside of it, but I mean, when you get into it outside of college, then there's no freedom really as much. You're limited to what needs to be played, and pretty much all is on an auto loop. So I mean, it's not you don't get to like it's not your typical disc jockey of the past. It's not like you can call in really to the radio stations anymore and be like, "Can you please play my song? I want to hear it." I mean, especially in today's digital age, like people could just find whatever song they want to hear and just play it anyway on their own. So it's all about playing the songs that need to be played and being the personality on there to just convey everything else. So there isn't as much of that connection with the people.
There's an idea.
Wow, that'd be a podcast. I mean, that'd be completely like opposite us in general. I think us just talking shit about everyone. Because
yeah, go ahead.
no, I mean people know the two of us. We're not the ones to really just go out there and be like, yeah, "Fuck you, dude." And so
I don't think I've ever said "f you" to anybody on the org. I've been like, salty for some people, but I get over it, and it's just a game.
Exactly, it's a game. There's only, like I said, one person in any org that I've ever played that I've like honestly been that pissed off about. And then I even took that into a fun route because any live challenge that I did, I started and ended it with a "fuck you, Kenny Mac," and then went on to do my challenge.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think my first interview for an org, they did ask me this question. It's like, facts or factice or whatever. They did ask me, it's like, is there anybody you don't want to play with? And I was just like, I was like, I know there isn't anybody because like I've never had like a fallout with anybody. It's just a game, so I wouldn't even yeah.
Yeah. All right. Apparently, we got the comments just trying to do business together now.
Do you do karaoke?
I mean, as long as Jawormy's Worm and Bait Shop isn't trying to do business with Final Rito's Mexican restaurant, then I think I'm pretty much okay with everybody trying to collaborate their businesses together.
Yeah. You can sing. Am I wrong?
I'm okay. I mean, I haven't. I love karaoke. I do karaoke, yes, but I mean, I don't tout myself as being like a top-notch person. I will try my best, but I'm never going to say that like I am the end-all be-all. I think I'm a decent singer. Doesn't mean I'm a great singer, but with practice, I mean, I was supposed to be one of the lead roles in Rocky Horror before whole pandemic went down. I was going to have a couple solo bits, but showing up having to get canceled.
What role were you auditioning for?
I was actually in the show. I was Brad Major. I was going to
Mm.
be the quote, as people like to shout out during that show, asshole. But I mean, if you've seen the movie, you know that Brad has a role in the show. Brad even has his own song during the actual musical instead, where during the movie his number actually gets cut, so
Mhm.
you aren't able to experience that.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Um, I've got a couple.
Mhm.
When I'm trying to just warm up, it'll be the goofy 8675309 because I know I can work the crowd with that one. I
Okay,
love.
would you do it for us
Well,
a little bit?
I don't know if we'd rather do that one or my other one. I like to go Rat Pack, and I'll do My Way from Frank Sinatra.
Whichever you want to do, even
Well,
if it's just a
you know
little
what?
bit.
You know what? I think that's a good closeout song. So I think when we're ready to close out, that's a good one to end the night with.
Okay.
Because it's all about just settling down and that you're happy with the
Mhm.
way that you did everything that you wanted to do. And now it's time to close the book on that chapter.
Mhm.
But
Is there
I'm not ready
any?
to close out the night yet.
No, no. Uh, on that note, is there anything you want to reflect on your all the seasons that you've played? What is your greatest achievement from all the games that you've played, and what is has been your lowest, I guess, lowest moment, but like that you had to overcome?
I mean, and I wasn't able to overcome it.
Mhm,
Uh, but a couple times, I mean, like I said, I'm 36. So, I mean,
mhm,
a lot of time there's a lot of younger people to play the games. Well, occasionally, and it's happened to me twice now, I get placed on a tribe that's pretty much all teenagers.
mhm,
And 36-year-old teenagers.
mhm,
Huge gap in between us.
mhm,
Um, one time I was able to overcome it. Literally, there was Teenage Alliance, and I was able to beat most of them and make it all the way to 7th place.
mhm,
Um, but another time, I literally got swapped into a group of teenagers. They literally were their typical teenage selves and miscommunicated and screwed things up. We had a plan, and then they fucked up the plan and voted me out because. So, I mean, the plan was to kind of like throw each other's names out there to the other two people. It was a 6-person tribe, and it was after the swap, and we had 2 2 2 from because it was originally 3 tribes at the
mhm.
start of the game, and on the swap, yeah, we had 2 people from each of the original tribes. So I'm like, okay, we need to hook up with. um, what stands for call? I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Um, but okay, we can celebrate, man. That sounds good, Austin. More drinks for that. Cheers, cheers. There we go.
Cheers, everybody.
We're just about done with Buzzball 3 here.
I mean, my bottle's still full, so
Well, you need to pick up the pace then, sir. But
I feel like I might get really drunk.
um, um, so anywho, yeah. So we make the plan. It's like, okay, we need the 4 of us to split our votes against the other 2 people over there, so that way we make sure one of them goes home.
Mhm,
Like, okay, well, what do we do if they come to us? It's like, well, we need to try and just throw one of each other's names out there. So we do. Well, word gets around to them that I had thrown one of their names out there, like the plan entailed.
mhm.
And then they get pissed that I threw my name out there, or that I threw their name out there. It's like, that was the fucking plan. So I get out as the first boot of the swap because 2 teenagers couldn't communicate properly. And then it was so funny because I'm in the viewers lounge afterwards And not even 10 minutes after our tribal council ends, I start seeing messages from them and be like, we fucked up. John was actually truthful to us. I'm like, come on, don't give it to me this quickly.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
And what was one of your proudest achievements?
Proudest, I mean, we go back to season 9, in which I won
Mhm.
5 immunities. I never considered myself really a challenge beast by any stretch of the imagination. So to win, shout them out on TikTok. Come, that would require me to have a TikTok and understand their handles. So I mean, but no, winning 5 challenges that season was crazy. I mean, any chance that I get in any sort of advantage is always cool. Um, but getting to win individual immunities is really definitely something. I played an org before in which like sometimes top 2 or 3 will get immunities, but when you're the only one that is safe at a tribal council,
Mhm.
it's that breath of fresh air. And to do it times in one season, especially a 2-day season in which all hell is breaking loose, that was something.
Um, you've met a lot of people throughout this, orgs. What have been some of the coolest friendships that you've made, whether it's been in Corey's org, but or other orgs that you've gotten to like meet people from different walks from the world, different places that you're thankful for?
I mean, I'm really especially thankful for my 2 Cerberus ladies that I work with,
Mhm.
Sarah and Nicole. I've actually gotten to meet Sarah in person. She lives 45 minutes away from me, actually,
Mhm.
and that's one of the reasons we were able to bond, was because she grew up one town away from me. I'm like, we were actually that like close to each other, and now we're playing a game with each other.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that was a really cool bonding moment. And now we're doing this game together. We've hung out a couple times. She's gotten me to apply to a couple live games, especially after seeing her get to play a live game in person. It
I
makes
think that was in Tennessee. I think it
that
was.
real foot, real foot.
Mhm. She got fourth place. I did follow her.
Right.
She did awesome. Or
No,
fifth
she did
place.
fifth place. She did amazing. And I mean, she had so many stories to tell afterwards, and she said that she would do it again in a heartbeat. And for a lot of us, it's the closest thing that we can get to the real experience.
Mhm.
So I mean, I almost don't even care about the prize money. I want to be able to experience that real thing. I mean, in college, I actually did a service project because I was part of the quote unquote leadership house.
Mhm.
I had to do projects each year. Well, one year, my project was actually putting on a day long live Survivor game. And it was really cool. Like, I started off with a schoolyard pick 'em, even actually did a gross out eating comp during the live game, in which it was even just simple stuff like just I put like a bowl of mayo in front of them. I'm like, just eat mayo, and it was really cool just to see people compete in Survivor live in front of you and
Yeah.
um, be that evil host that's gonna try and fuck with them as much as you can. In the Cerberus game, and I don't know why I was the one targeted all the time, but they actually referred to me as the Survivor Devil at one point because of some of the stuff that I would throw at them. It's like, dude, I'm not even the ones giving you half of the physical challenges that are fucking you up, but I gave them the stuff like the eating comp and uh, some other really mental challenges that just played with their heads a lot. But it's fun to just be able to just watch them eat, especially in person,
Mhm.
interact with each other, and want to push each other all the way to that end game.
Uh, what made you decide to host your own game?
So, and this is another small factoid about me. Growing up, I had a weird dream job, and that was game show host. Like, I grew up loving Wheel of Fortune, Prices, stuff like that. And I always wanted to be the host. I wanted to be the one on the show. I would have loved to compete too, but to be the one to host and have fun with everybody, be that big, brass, bold personality, that sounded so much fun to me. And I mean, people that have played with me, they know that, like, the two survivors that I pretty much, 2 or 3 survivors that I emulate the most when I play. I'm the big guy, so I emulate Rupert a lot. I'm that big teddy bear. I'm a wise ass, so I can be that Jonathan Penner person. I don't mind throwing it right back to the host, not to be a jackass, but just to like keep everybody laughing because I can throw the shit right back. But I'm also a Rick Devens because I'm gonna keep announcing. I'm gonna be that entertainer to try and like make everybody laughing as we're along the way, and being the entertainer has been what's been my way of promoting myself throughout life. Because I mean, I've always been that dorky kid growing up, and all 30 years of my life, I live, eat, and breathe dork, and I don't mind it because that's who I am. I don't mind being a dork or geek, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I have my niche followings that I love to follow, and I'll follow them because they're fun. But yeah.
There's been talks recently about with you as a host. You know this, but there's some people complaining about, oh, this person, they took this challenge from our org, or they copied us, or they stole our challenge. How do you feel about people saying those things? Like, might have like, because I know that I think Sarah said it correctly. Like, I agree with her. We're not stealing from anybody. If anything, like, we're playing a show, recreating a show that's not like we're kind of stealing from them, and it's
Sure,
all in
exactly.
fun. So if someone takes an advance challenge and hey, I took inspiration from this, like, it's okay. I think it gets out of hand when people are like, you stole that from me, and then
If you want to bring fucking lawyers in because somebody borrowed your idea for an org, come on. That's just absolutely stupid. I mean, we are here to have fun, and we're here to bring challenges, and we see what challenges are pushing people. Yeah, we try and put our own little spin on things, or we might adopt it completely. I honestly feel that if somebody wants to borrow my idea for a challenge and run with it, I see that as a sign of respect, that they saw that it was that good of a challenge that they want to do it themselves and push their players to the limit. Because I know that nobody wants to have a challenge in which it's going to be a weak ass challenge that. Hey, Matt, did you encourage Corey during during Bitter Jury to not play titles like you too, or?
Dylan, where's that shade button?
Oh my god!
I wish I had a fan right now.
Oh, Matt, I love you. I hope you know that. I had to do that.
We love you, Matt.
Oh. On to Buzzball 4.
I think he just responded.
I was too busy playing them himself. That's right. You know what? I got to say, congratulations, Matt, on winning Bitter Jury. You're exactly right. But there are people out there that literally were finding gaming attorneys to try and help their own cause. But instead, everybody else rallied together. And that's the really cool part about the world, is that people bond together, whether it's hosts bonding together, players bonding together. I've seen orgs have meetups, like massive meetups. I was part of an org in which a whole bunch of people met up in Disney World, of all places. It's like, but you learn. Ingrid, this is why you're partners with me. Come on. Oh, and for those that are wondering, we have so far gone through peach, we have gone through sour apple, and we have gone through cranberry, and we just opened up watermelon. So,
What else do you have left from the buzz balls?
from the buzz balls, nothing. But I have this whole entire 12-pack of fruit
Okay,
smashers. So,
sponsored by.
fruit smash.
I was gonna ask them what you should drink next, but since you're out of buzz balls, I guess next is the seltzers.
I've got Bud Light and wine, but that's not as fun.
Mhm. I do agree with you. I feel the same way in terms of like this whole with like stealing challenges. I think we're all here to have fun, meet different people from around the world. Yeah. So on that note, is there anything that what are the qualities you look for in org when you want to apply? Is there specific things that really stand out for you that I have to apply for this
I've never
org?
been able to be a part of a flagship, be a part of a first season.
Mhm.
So I always have watched other people play a season, and I watch and see their reactions because even on boot posts, if they're miserable, then you know that the game was not as fun. But if you can tell that they were having an absolute blast playing that game, that's the game that I want to play. It almost doesn't even matter if like where you place. If you have fun while you're playing the game, then you're gonna have fun. Because we can have game nights as much as we want. Shit's gonna happen. People are gonna win. People are gonna lose. But if the point of like game nights is having fun, making it worthwhile for everyone. And if everybody in this game can come back together and realize that we're all there for the same purpose, that's what's going to make it. We literally just finished up our Animation All-Star season, and we literally created a Snapchat group of almost every single person in the whole entire cast because we had that much fun. We respected each other. Even though we screamed and yelled at each other a bunch, we realized it's all stars, and we didn't take personal jabs at each other, which was the defining moment of I think that season. It was hard, it was long. That actually was incorrect phrasing on my part, but it was a challenge nonetheless.
I was gonna say something, but then I was like, probably shouldn't say anything because you just said something.
Like I said, my knees have been hurting from working the corner today. So,
what has been the most fun org that you played? The funnest org that you played that you had a lot of fun. You like a 100%. I would come back every season they asked me to.
Oh, that's so tough because every season, any org that I've played,
top 3.
Animation has got to be right up there. Jordan and Michael put out an amazing game. I tell you right now, if you haven't played their game, season 6 is going to be an amazing season. I know the theme. So when they have applications come out, play it. It is an absolute blast to play. They will challenge you. They have fun challenges. And they run it really, really well. Broski, that's a tough org. I had a blast playing it, but again, they push you to the limits.
Yeah.
They have earned their stripes. They're about to start their, what is it now, 8th season? Or is it 9th? 9th season. They're about to start their 9th season. It's crazy for that many orgs to make it to 9. and to have still that reputable like response, like to have people like, granted, there have been many assholes that have played Broski. I mean, it's got bro in the name. I mean, you're going to have those type of people.
Yeah, there's one of the things that I kind of has kept me from applying that from that is like you hear stuff about it and it's controversial. But at the
but,
end of the day, I
but
feel like
yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
but they have changed.
Mhm.
Like they've the interview process themselves. They set up a big list of questionable people that play orgs and shared it amongst the community, amongst all other hosts. And when they took that initiative, that's when I knew that they were going to be an org that could be around for quite a while. They've cycled through hosts, but they have a really good hosting staff. They've got their heads on their shoulders, and they're finding crazy new ways to push everybody to the limits. I mean, we had an endurance comp that I went an hour and a half in the challenge, and I placed fourth. The
That's
winner went over,
amazing.
the winner went over 5.5 hours doing the challenge.
I want to do my
Yeah,
Gabe reaction.
yeah,
What?
yeah. I mean,
5 hours? Wow.
it wasn't all of us doing it at once. It was we had to go live to the page, which sometimes that's even trickier.
Hmm.
Because you don't know what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like those challenges. You test your own personal
You're you're kind of cutting off
mental
a little bit.
limits. Um, I saw you cut out there for a second too. I'm still here, but yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Uh, so yeah,
yeah.
Broski, you were talking about Broski being one of the ones that people should look into. What would be the top
Broski
three?
animation. Broski animation would definitely be two of the top three.
Mhm,
And then the game that Sarah, Nicole, and myself all met in. It's a Skype
mhm,
org,
mhm.
but it's called Sabrosa. They throw some of the craziest twists out there. That was the game that I got out in 18th place, but I got to watch the rest of the game from the viewers lounge, continue to root my friends along. They actually threw a twist in that allowed the eliminated players to come in and I don't even know what that question is referred to. Oh,
I think it's for the
the
endurance.
endurance comp. They had us take 2 pencils and take 2 solo cups. It's bad that I had to keep my org supplies that close to me. But you had to keep the cups like this, 2 pencils on the end, stand up and hold the 2 cups together for as long as you could. So I during that one, I personally I put on Monty Python and the Holy Grail, watched that while I was live on challenge, um, and then only got eliminated or knocked myself out when I tried to get the remote after the movie was done and tried to put something else on. But the person that won literally put on a whole entire season of Shameless and just watched that as he was going. So, yeah. I'm sure Austin may steal that challenge now. But no, so Sabroso, that'd be the other one in my top 3 because what can I say? So they invited the eliminated people that went pre-merge to
Mhm.
come back in on one of the first individual immunity challenges and just start to like either if they wanted to, they could support verbally through the chat the people that were playing the challenge, or they could smack talk the people that were playing the challenge. Well,
Wow.
which route do you think I went?
Smack talk.
Oh, of course I did. I literally told one person that was playing the challenge that my farts had made a bigger impact on the game than she had.
Oh,
And
well,
so then after the challenge, well, some of the people really took some personal jabs. I just tried to
mhm,
go the funny route. Uh, I mean, granted, that person really had like the Purple Kelly edit at that point, and really, I mean, I was truthful at that point. Like I felt like my farts had made a bigger impact. Um, but um, no, the fact. So after we get back into the viewers lounge after the challenge, they start flooding some "fuck you" type of messages, and I meet one of my really good friends in the org community um, through her throwing some shade right back at me. She's like, "Geez, that's some big words for somebody that couldn't even get out of the first swap." I'm like, okay. And
touche.
we hadn't even met in person yet at this point. She literally had just known me through like these interactions. So so after the season ends, we meet up and I'm like, look, I'm sorry that like that had happened. But and I told her I crazy respected her game too.
Mhm,
Granted, even the person I threw shade at. This was just like one of her tribe mates that
mhm.
was coming to her aid. Uh, so so we then bonded over shit talking pretty much. So we
I
had there
mean,
was a, in that org there was a lot of just close bonds formed, and that's when you know that you're that it's a really good org.
at the end, it's all in good fun. I feel like some people do shit talk, and it's not like serious where
Yeah,
too personal. It's just for fun, and I'm glad that you've been
yeah,
able to like always like
yeah,
remain friends with everybody. On the note that you were saying that you met up with some
yeah.
people, tell me because I've met my first person from like Orcs, and it was Tyler from your season. I got to meet him, but talk to me about your experience on meeting people that you've played, like you've spent so many hours online that you didn't know, and you're playing this game and you're bonding over, and to actually really meet them and talk to them, not it's outside the game or talk about the game, but on a friend level, like actually getting to see them like
Yeah.
real life. What was
I
that
mean,
for you?
I've only been able. Oh my gosh, it was so amazing. I've only been able to meet Sarah
Hmm.
in person because apparently there's so many more of you that live in the mid Atlantic instead of the Northeast like me. Um, but we Sarah, myself, and Sarah's husband, we met up at a Mexican restaurant and we had dinner. We had drinks together. Like it was an absolute blast. Like when we met each other, just like we gave each other the biggest hug because like we had just been through so much stuff. Like even after I got voted out, like we didn't talk about game, but we still kept talking to each other. And when Sarah was in final tribal, it was the longest final tribal I had ever seen. It went for 3 hours,
Wow.
and with the jury just grilling them. And she's messaging me. She's like, this is so much. I'm like, just keep your head in the game. You got this. You're killing it. Keep it up. I mean, I had no idea what the jury was thinking or anything. But
Mhm,
it was us being there for each other, and the fact that we were able to do that just like really solidified that bond and that friendship,
mhm,
and it really. And now we run an org together. So I mean, that's what's even cooler is that like we have that that connection like that. Um, I mean, I might get to meet up with a couple other orgers next month in a couple weeks that I just played. Oh, excuse me, my big brother game with, but
mhm.
I mean, it's any opportunity that you get to meet these people in person. It's really something special.
Yeah. What is one quality, or what are the qualities that you look for in an ally, and what do you want people to like get from you from their org experience when they align with you? Like, what is the something that people want them to know you for, or not just John, the strategic mind, but also John, the person, and what you bring to the table as a human, as a friend, as a
Yeah.
person.
I mean, people realize that I'm going to be a fun person to play with. That when we are talking together, we're going to have a fun talk. Like, it's not going to be, I'm not just going to call you and just talk about game. We can talk about
Mhm.
life. We can talk about whatever the hell we want. And any conversation that I have with you will be real and honest.
Mhm.
Like, we can talk about our families, we can talk about our jobs, our other passions besides playing games, and like we'll be there for each other. That's the fun. And then we can have fun. We can make fun of the other players. We can make fun of the host. Actually, it's even more fun making fun of the host during games, I feel. I mean, literally during the most recent animation season, I had an alliance, and we all got sniped when I went out. We call ourselves Mystery Inc., and we each gave ourselves one of the personalities of the Scooby Doo gang,
Mhm.
and like we
Which one
rolled
were
with it.
you?
It was absolutely. Take a guess. I want you to guess. Who was I? Who do you
Uh,
think I was?
okay. Can I have two guesses?
Well,
Uh,
that'll
uh,
give you
uh,
2 out of 5 shots. Just sure.
okay. I think you are Shaggy.
Incorrect.
Okay, my second would be Scooby.
That's exactly who I was.
I was
And
gonna
the
say
reason I was
Velma.
not Shaggy.
Uh huh.
So I mean, the alliance was myself, Nicole, Lane, Mashburn,
Hmm.
Keslin, Murdoch, and Andrew Hart.
Hmm.
And so Hart was actually Daphne,
Yeah.
because he labels himself as the Queen Extreme. Um, we had Stoner Lane as our Shaggy. We
Hmm.
had Nicole as our Velma, and we had Keslin as our Fred. So that's we literally controlled our swap tribe up until when I got out. And then after I got out, that's when all shit hit the fan.
Hmm.
So goes to show you Mystery Inc. is nothing without Scooby.
Hmm. Um, what is something that I guess like you can use three words, but I guess you can use more to describe your journey, not just in Corey's org, but your all the orgs that you've played. Like I know you said Scrappy for season 9, but what is something that like adjectives or words that you would use to describe your journey with all these orgs?
Social growth. So
Hmm.
huge social growth. When I first started my journey into orgs, my first org didn't have live travels or anything like that. Like, we submitted our vote ahead of time, or if we wanted to play any powers ahead of time. So I mean, when you got to tribal, like there was no questions or anything like that. So I was missing that element.
Hmm.
When I got to my next one, there was live tribals, there was calls, there was everything, and it threw me for a huge loop. But I adapted, and when I went to my first tribal, and I still do a lot of this. I'm very political with my answers. I'm not going to be that idiot that's going to throw people's names out during tribal unless it's part of a ruse.
Hmm.
Um, um, then, then actually, oh, excuse me. I went back and played again the original game, and still it was the same. No live tribals, but then I played Corey's, and we had calls, and I know he's listening, and we have one friend in here that's listening that is notoriously known for calls upon calls upon calls. That'd be our good friend Matt.
Matt.
And also rehashing everything that's going on.
Season 8.
But yeah, yeah. But I liked that was when I started developing my character pretty much, and
Mhm.
developing my live character. Because yep, Austin knows what I'm talking about. But I hadn't really gotten the chance to really develop who I am in front of the camera yet to that point. But then once I finished Chorus Org, I took some time off and I hosted my own game with Sarah Nicole. And even just getting to watch everybody got me jonesing again.
Mhm.
And at that point, I I applied for both animation and for Broski. And luckily, they were slightly overlapping. And I got into both. And I developed my personality and my character even more. Some was just developed based upon experience. Some was kind of thrown at me. Um, like when I was playing Broski, I hadn't developed the J Money character yet at that point. But as soon as I told Lane chat that I had had a radio show and it was called the J Money Show, it's like, that's it. We're changing your name. Anything from here on out is going to say J Money. I'm like, okay, so be it. And I embraced it. I mean, I embraced it not in like a cocky manner that I have to have this personality, but it's like, this is a fun personality to have. And I mean, I'll still go by John and everything like that in org that don't know me, but I literally, during when you saw I played that advantage, I literally cut Michael off during the All-Star, played my intro music, and announced that I was going to be playing my advantage. And when I did that, it didn't piss people off that I was going the showbelt route. It actually got people to start talking to me more because they're like, "You're so fun." It's
Yeah.
like, this is cool. And what's
I
even
will.
funnier, oh yes, I have the other nickname of Drunkle.
Who gave you
I
that nickname, by
have
the way?
no idea why.
Austin. Who did it? Who did it? I think
It's
Austin
not.
knows.
I gave myself that nickname by accident.
Uh,
Because I was like, it's because people were like jokingly calling each other like father or like the mom or dad of the group. It's like, I'll be the drunk uncle. I will be the drunkle John. And then they ran with that. So
I will say, like at the beginning,
so
and
yeah.
one of the reasons, like it was like nothing personal for targeting you, is because I knew, like even Austin came to me because we were like talking for season 9. There was like, I know you said you didn't pregame, but Austin, he was like, "Oh yeah, John, like maybe he has to go," and then he talked to you, and he's like, "I love John. John is amazing. He does theater like me. He's like, he's fun, he's funny," and I was just like, "Oh my god." Here's John working his charm, charming people off. And then I would say after that season 9, I was like, I love John. John is really funny. I'm sad that I didn't like reach out to him and like play with him because like even right now hearing your story, if I was like in another game, I would work with you because I know if anything, I'll have a great laugh. I enjoyed watching you in animation, just like cracking a joke and easing the tension. And I love that you kind of take a serious moment and you try to make people laugh, which is if anybody has an opportunity to make people laugh, then you're already doing great things. So
Oh yeah, I mean one of the things that during Corey's org, I got to make a mark during Game Changers that frustrated a lot of them. And I actually think I don't know if he's still watching, but Tyler knows. So during the Final Four, Levels of Doom, they had one stage in which it was random players saying, "Revenge is sweet, baby girl." Well, I got asked to be one of the people to say it. Of course, I'm not going to do it in any sort of normal way. So I made myself sound like saying "Revenge is sweet, baby girl." Gabe approached me afterwards. He's like, "I had the hardest time trying to figure out that that was you."
Can you reenact it for us?
So, I mean, oh, "Revenge is sweet, baby girl."
Oh my god, you just sound like him. That's so funny. I would have
No,
never
it's
guessed that was you. It would have been
yeah.
like, then after a while it would have
I
been like Mickey, season 9. And then I would have been like, And then
I
I
mean,
would have been like John would
I
say
mean,
something like that.
I mean, I literally gave them multiple like voice options,
Mhm.
and for them to choose. And so Corey legit had to end up starting to have to give them hints about who I was. They couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was. I mean, I love fucking with people as often as I can, especially when it's just on that type of spectrum.
Mhm.
But
Uh, talk about. Do you remember the first time you got really wasted?
we're gonna go there. Okay. It was probably back when I was in college. Um, I got invited to a college party at a house. Actually, I wasn't even. I was actually home at that point, so it was during the summer,
Mhm.
and it was at somebody's apartment. And we are going to get you wasted because I had never been wasted before, or drunk, or anything in my life. And they fed me rum martinis. Sorry, just like straight constantly because they wanted to see me like in that like having fun in that state. It was some of my theater friends. So that literally was pretty much one of the only times that I was completely gone. Excuse me, completely gone. Um, so yeah. Other than that, the only other time that I was completely gone, and I think I was telling you this before we went live. I was in Cancun with a buddy of mine, and it was at an all-inclusive resort. And I mean, it was all inclusive. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. One of these days, I'm going to have the goal of having 15 rum and cokes before 5 p.m. Why I had that number and that time frame, I don't know. But I completed my task, including actually having a tequila popper halfway through. And I finished at like 4:50. Made it into my friend's room. Go, I did it. And promptly collapsed onto his his bed. And we were supposed to go out clubbing that night. Needless to say, we did not. But yeah, the next day
Uh,
was not fun.
what has been your favorite challenge or top 3 favorite challenges in any of the orgs that you have played?
Okay. Ooh, um, I mean, I love a good mental challenge. Um, there was a challenge in my Big Brother org that I just played, in which one of the hosts had posted a Disney GIF, one a day for each of like 36. at Final Four Veto, we had a challenge in which we had to. They would then send that GIF again, and you had to try and guess what day that GIF was sent. And it really like showed your season awareness and how well you were studying and stuff like that. I mean, I know I'm sadistic, so I mean, I love challenges like Levels of Doom, because it really pushes you on so many different levels. Pun not intended there.
Wait, is that facial hair?
like-
Sorry, like is that facial hair I had? Is it like a filter or that just happened on my lip, Austin?
That just happened. That just happened.
Really?
I mean, unless you're managing to do stuff on your own, I mean, it's all you, Ed. That's all you.
What? How did that happen?
Oh, it's getting some mustache hair.
I don't know. I would like to play. Oh, Austin Druid. I would like to play my mustache advantage that Austin gave me, please.
I must ask you, what was it? What does it do?
It keeps me safe, and all the other bitches have to vote somebody else off.
Okay. You know, I'm going to flip the script. You've been asking me all these questions. My turn to ask you something.
Oh, okay. You're the first person to ask me questions. Okay.
What is the? I know, because you know we're both having some fun. We're both having some booze here, so it's time to get honest out here. What is the best twist that you have ever seen in an org? And then on the opposite side, what's the worst twist you have ever seen?
The best twist. And this is weird because like I got voted off during this twist, but I think it was genius. Like, I played season 12 of Survivor Pandora, which was my first ever org. I played 6 and got first boot. So they did second chances for season 12, and so I wanted to come back and like redeem myself. And at this point, I had won in org. I had done great in Corey's org, and I've always made jury in other orgs or 7th place. So I wanted to do that org, and the twist was that there was 10 of us, and the people that would get eliminated are the people with the highest odd votes and the highest even votes. And this season they did the thing where like if you had a vote against you and it came down to a tie, whoever has the most votes gets eliminated. And so on the first round when they voted for each other, someone played an idol. We all put our votes on that person, so it didn't count. And then I got 2 votes, so the highest even number was me, and I went off on 2 votes. And everybody was like saying that, oh, you're playing a great game, you're very social. And I thought that was kind of like a sequester thing, but like it was really cool because like the highest odd numbers was 11111, and they had to spin the wheel. They were safe, and then whoever landed on the wheel was gone, and it was only 2 people, and that person was gone, and they weren't even targeted. Like that was crazy. And then the worst was probably the worst probably was like a game that I just finished where it was like it. I didn't think it was the worst, but it was kind of I didn't like it, I guess, because like it was like the person who won first place was safe, and they got to choose someone for elimination. So they chose a person, and then they gave safety to another person, and that person got to choose other person to go for elimination. Whoever loses that challenge gets eliminated, and this girl, she chose me, and I went up against this other guy, and it was a crossword puzzle. and there's a word puzzle in that challenge. So you really know what happened there. Like I got eliminated. But I had fun. You know, I was kind of salty at the beginning bit because like she was like, "Oh, you didn't talk to me and this and that," and I was like, "I talked to you. You left me on red." But there we go. Yeah, so I was just like, I had fun. It was a great time, and I had no regrets because like it was a lot of like endurance challenge. Well, not endurance challenge, but it was like a lot of challenges. It was not like you couldn't be that social because it really depended on doing challenges. So I was proud of myself for not being first boot. So yeah, that was my answer.
Nice. All right.
Any
The
more
first question
questions?
after all this time. That was the first question really directed right back at you after all of these interviews.
Yeah, I was running out of questions. I was like, do you want to ask more questions? Because I'll happily answer them. Whatever you want to
What's
ask.
your favorite? What's your favorite challenge you've ever done?
Favorite challenge. I would say it's a tie between the two times I won immunity at Corey's Arc. One of them was, which is funny because these two challenges really show you that you kind of understand the people who you're playing with, or you're very good at getting to the end and not getting any votes against you.
Yeah.
That was a sequester challenge on season 7. I got to the end with Keanu, and that was a mistake because we took out Ingrid on. We voted her off, and that kind of tanked our game because she was working with us. I gave a great speech. She voted for me, and I got immunity. I was blindsided that day because one of my allies was voted off, and the second would be in the touchy subjects in Game Changers, where I got tied with Nick and I won the sudden death and I won immunity. And I also was blindsided because that's the time I targeted Gabe, and he didn't go because Tyler told Matt, and Matt decided to vote for Colin, and Colin went on a vote of 5-4. And I was gonna make this move where because I didn't want it to be like season 9 where people didn't think that I deserved to win.
Yeah.
Because like I needed to make moves, and it was frustrating because like season 10, I feel like I was targeted in a way. I felt like it was unfair because like I didn't understand it until like Austin literally told me. He's like, it's nothing personal. We just think you're really great. You're like Belinda from like other orcs. I don't know if you know her, but like apparently she's great, and I believe that. But like people, and I have gotten like 4th place twice, so I was just like, of course people are gonna like target me, and I just really was really hard because I had never been at the bottom. You know, I don't know about you, but like that was the
Oh,
first
yeah.
time I had to like really like scratch and claw my way to the top, and I
I've had to
almost
do it
got.
a couple times. Yeah.
So you know how that hard is for someone to like try to make it to the end. Um Austin's like, you're scary. I don't know. I just try to like make bonds with people and try to tell them like, hey man, like, which is one of the questions that I have for you. Like, what advice or what would you say? Because like you said, you have social growth um in these games, but like I still sometimes struggle. I've won a game for God's sake, you know, like I've like done good, but then I'm these 2 games that I played, the last 2 games that I played, I kind of like start good and then like there's people who are more social, and then I get like freezed out and I'm like, I can't compete with these people. Like these are Dylan's, these are Jeremy's, these are like you like who are super social, like a John, and then like I'm just me. So how do I, you know, and my question for you would be like, what advice would you give to someone who's like, you know, that they're because I'm like a weird, I consider myself like geeky in an awkward way, like Aubrey, you know, like almost like Suri as well. But I need time to, you know, make that bond. So I don't know what advice you would give to someone who's like questioning like, what do I need to do to like get people to like want to work with me and like make that bond and like not just bullshitting, but like hey, I have your back. What we share is true.
So it really depends cast by cast. I mean, I've seen people like me go early in games.
Yeah.
I look at my Animation All Stars. I mean, yeah, I went on a 17th person and I went in like 17th place, but there was still 7 people that went before me.
Mhm.
When the second person to go, Sydney, she's an amazing social player, and she's an absolute hoot to be around.
Mhm.
She didn't have the numbers with her. That's the thing
Mhm.
that killed her. It almost went to rocks on her first tribal, but instead somebody panicked and
Mhm.
they flipped the vote and she went instead. So, I mean, shit can happen. It's
Yeah.
all about adapting your own game. Don't try and play the same game every single time you play. You can
Mhm.
have the same personality, but don't bring the same energy into every single game. I was ready to play a villain role in Animation All Stars, but people changed that for me, so I had to go back to the full-on goofy route, which was good because people wanted to work with me. We
Mhm.
had a full-on weekend-long scavenger hunt in which I was the leader of the tribe, because there was a couple challenges that people were hesitant to do, but once they saw me doing them, or we literally got on a call with most of our whole entire tribe, and it was doing some small gross out eating comp of an orange with barbecue sauce on it. I'm like, I can do this in my sleep. That's an easy one. But there were people that were scared of it. I'm like, come on, this is easy. It's like
Mhm.
this is like Chinese food pretty much. Just think of it that way. But and so we got on a call and we're like, let's do this all together, because I had already done it myself.
Mhm.
Got everybody to laugh at my video as I nearly sliced my own finger off trying to just. I took a giant knife to my barbecue sauce bottle trying to open up the wrapper on it. Needless to say, when you're doing stuff like that, don't do the challenge of shotgun a beer right before that, um, which I did. Um, doesn't make you think completely clearly. But no, so we literally got on a call like 6,
Mhm.
7 of us, and I just they all made their dish, and I just kept motivating them and pushing them through it. And that got us to bond together as that group and make us solidified. So even though we lost because we had some dingus that DQ'd us because he didn't participate at all and meet the minimum, uh, and I mean, we literally would have won the scavenger hunt by over 100 points. It was that bad of a blowout, but because somebody DQ'd us, we lost. And I think it literally changed the landscape of the entire game because of that.
Hmm.
Oh boy, Ed's got the shades out.
Yeah, I'm feeling it now, so I'm just
Oh,
feeling
you're
that
feeling it
fantasy.
now. Oh boy.
Next question.
Mhm.
Um, uh, I want to ask. I'm gonna name a couple of people, and you have to give me some qualities that you admire about them,
Yep.
and what has been your funnest experience with them.
Yeah.
Start with your partner from the first season of The Amazing Race, Ingrid Santiago.
Oh my gosh, Ingrid is such a ball of joyous
Mm,
personality. She is a hard worker and doesn't take crap from anybody. So, and not only that, she can have fun and get loose if she needs to. That's
mhm,
where she's the sassy part of our group, but she can be the drunk one if she needs to. And exactly. And I don't mind throwing out the sassy bit if I need to too. So she's teaching me to be a little bit more sassy. I'm teaching her to Well, I'm not teaching her to be drunk a bit more, but definitely teaching her the ways of loosening up a bit more.
The next person is Austin.
Oh my gosh, Austin! He is a fucking puzzle genius. Although I know he mentioned it earlier, I know Austin hosts SFJ, or was one of the co-hosts of SFJ. I've yet to play that game.
Would
That
you
is
play that
one of.
game?
I was just gonna say that is one of my bucket list games. I would play that game. Just have not yet. But Austin puts his heart into everything that he does, and he wears it on his sleeve. Whether it be good or bad, Austin will push it to the limit every single time. I mean, we can think back to season 9. We had the call and answer challenge. He fucking got Kelly Wentworth to come on
Yep.
in like minimal notice.
He's like,
It's like,
hey, I'm doing the challenge. Can you come right? Yeah, okay.
I mean, it was. I mean, literally, she didn't get to come on during the challenge, but she came on during tribal council, and we literally. I mean, I'm like Austin's arguing for me to stay at that point, and Kelly just appears, and I don't know if that distracted everybody or not, but that
She
that
told me to burn my buff, so but I love her.
I mean, I was still shocked by that one. I was jaw dropped. Yes, you did save my ass during that tribal. I completely thank you every day for that one, Austin. Do not worry. I'm not forgetting about you. Ingrid comment too. But no,
so
I mean,
yeah, Austin
that was
is great.
the first time Austin and I really clicked, and we started really working together at that point. And then everybody blindsides Austin shortly thereafter, and I have to start scrambling even more again at that point. So,
The next person is Alan.
Alan cracks me up. Alan has got to be the funniest fucking dude. I one of them that I've met.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. Yes, I have never played a game, an org, with Alan. I've had quite a few game nights with Alan, and I've learned definitely just through playing Among Us or code names with Alan that Alan hates to lose, and Alan will do anything that it takes to win.
Especially saying that rail means like getting
Oh
rails
my
in the
god!
head. Talk to
When
me because I was
literally
missing.
they thought that I had the dirtiest fucking mind. When I'm like, no, that word follows this other word to make a compound word.
Oh my god!
But they still got it right, so it didn't even matter.
Yeah. What about Dylan?
Oh, Dylan is somebody that is an amazing player, amazing personality, and I wish that we really could have played. We keep teasing each other the fact that we're going to play with each other, and say, "Fuck it, we're not going to do it." And, yeah.
What about Matt?
Matt again. Matt, I love Matt. It's a personality that I've hosted him. I've played with him, and Matt underplays himself a lot of times. I mean, granted, we got to see Matt win Bear Jury by doing a whole bunch of things that we hadn't seen him do before. He didn't overplay his hand a lot of the times. He played advantages when he needed to. He had a great social game. He didn't over social his game like we've seen before. But I mean, Matt, you can literally talk to any time of day, any day of the week, and he will gladly talk to you. I mean, he was a fun ally to work with during season 8. But then he targeted me for a reason that he was incorrect. It wasn't even because I had tried to flip it on to Tristan. It was the fact that he thought I was exposing secrets from another Alliance chat. I'm like, no, I didn't do that. It's like, I wouldn't do that. But he took me out anyway.
What about Jordan?
Jordan again is a loyal person. I mean, that's why Jordan, I know, was upset when I took him out during season 8. We never played together during season 9 technically, but I was really worried that had we ever played together, that Jordan was going to try and target me.
Oh yeah, he told me that. He's like, I'm only worried about Amanda Welch because I got rid of her and John.
Yeah. But it was funny because during season 8, when we were on our swap tribe, Dylan and I really clicked, but
Mhm.
and Jordan did not click. And Dylan really just let it be known that Dylan never wanted to work with Jordan, and I took advantage of that. So
What about Miranda, your season 9 finalist, fellow
oh
finalist?
my gosh, Miranda. Miranda is an absolute, especially during season 9 when we got to click, she was an absolute bubble of joy to get to work with then. She's proving herself to be, with her being with Sarah, they are a duo to be reckoned with in the current Amazing Race season. Um, they just surpassed us for the second best average placement in the season. So, or currently now best average placement, I think, in the season now that we had our unfortunate droppings. So.
Mhm. Um, what are your expectations for the Amazing Race? I know, um, I was really sad to see Austin and McKenna go because, like, I
Yeah, it
mean, I
was
don't
sad.
want to play. I don't want to,
No,
you know,
I'm
I
not
don't
going
want
to
to
get,
say
and I
speculate.
will tell you, I'm not going to get into all that
Mhm,
other stuff.
mhm,
But sad, really sad to see the way that it ended for both
mhm,
McKenna and Austin and Bo now,
mhm,
because I don't want to see people go out like that. It got awkward. It got bad, and it was bad blood between them, and there was a bunch of just it wasn't good. Um,
Um,
we're
um,
yeah,
on
and
another note, I will say that they are amazing,
oh my
amazing
gosh,
players, all four of them, and I wish them the best of luck in other
yeah.
orgs. I for sure had Austin and McKenna as one of the top three. You know,
They fucking scared me.
mhm,
Mine and Ingrid's goal every single time wasn't to win a leg. It was to
mhm,
beat Austin and McKenna.
mhm.
That was our goal every single leg. I mean, Ingrid would have had it as bragging rights every single time. So that was the point, yes, of us trying to beat them. But I mean, I still will joke with McKenna. It's like, McKenna, you're part of the Taco Bell seats. How come you have Ortega sauce? But I mean, sometimes my stupid humor hits, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it's a little bit out of place, but it's to try and just lighten the mood a little bit. But
um, how much would it? On that note, how much would it mean for you and your partner Ingrid, um, to win the Amazing Race if you get to the final three after so many legs? Because I know I this is hard, and you can tell me like it's been a hard like journey with
it's
these challenges.
I'm,
Like, how much would it mean to you and Ingrid to actually win the race and like take it all the way home? Your first org win and Ingrid's first org win
you said it right
after
there.
after being
That's
finalists yourselves. Ingrid has been a finalist
yeah.
and you have been a finalist.
That's where the two of us were hungry.
Hmm.
It's we will battle it out to the bitter end.
Hmm.
And we both want to have that first W.
Hmm.
And it's and we'll keep battling until we do. Whether it's whether it's now or whether it's somewhere else. But we want it to be a fun experience and get that W. So we can have that mantle of claiming, hey, we did this together.
Mhm. Um, what do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about you?
That I am all about being goofy and have no substantialness to back it up. Um, I am big unknown in a lot of the community.
Mhm,
Granted, some Org has gotten to know me throughout the last couple seasons,
mhm,
but I mean, elsewhere that I go, people still don't know who I am, or they think that I'm just a joke. And I mean, I literally and I take it to heart, and I
mhm,
use that motivation to go forward. In the Big Brother game that I just placed second in,
mhm,
I looked at every single person that had a draft. And there was probably 30, 40 people that had a draft, and they could each draft 4 people out of 16. One person had me out of everybody that drafted. And that's because nobody knew who I am or nobody would give me a shot.
mhm,
Lo and behold, I proved them wrong. And I took myself to the end. Granted, I probably did the thing that cost me the game, and I
mhm.
took my ally who had made a lot of moves, but it was all about respect at that point, it's and I couldn't do anything else. I set myself up in the position at final three that had either person won besides me, they were taking me.
Mhm.
So runner up, be damned. I mean, I was a 0 vote finalist, but that was because the other person had played such an amazing game. But
Um,
yeah, I want people to know that I'm here to play. I'm not here to be a goat.
mhm,
It's we are going to have a fun game. We are going to have lots of laughs together, lots of cries together, but they're going to be real and genuine.
yeah. On season 10 of the
Yeah.
final 8, I had to vote out my alliance, which was Ingrid, then rival, then friend. And I told her I was voting her out, and as the votes came in, I physically started crying. And I told her this, like, and it was one of the hardest votes I had to do. And because, like, other than Casey, and I probably would have cried with Casey, and I didn't vote him out, and neither did I with Keanu, but I voted out Ingrid, and that's how much it hurt me to actually vote out someone who going in, I was like final three. Well, Casey was there too, but like I I regretted not reaching out as much as I could have, and then season 10 happened, and we still could not manage to like work together. And the fact that we tried, and then like I had to vote her out. It hurt so much. Talk
Yeah.
to me. Have you ever done the same thing with another org, or where you had to vote out someone and it hurt so much, it broke your heart, but you had to do it because it was the thing that you had to do? Did you regret it? Have you not experienced that? How would you react if you had to do that in the
I'm
future?
gonna I'm gonna tweak that a little bit because
Yeah.
I literally just went through
Mhm.
something similar during my
Mhm.
Big Brother.
Yeah.
I have someone that is completely near and beyond dear to me. She refers to me as her org dad, and I refer to her as my org daughter.
Mhm.
Like Julia, she is an absolute gem to me, and we were so tight during our Big Brother game. I made a move at Final Four to set myself up so that no one would evict me at Final Three.
Mhm.
She took it at that point, right when I made that move, to think that I was throwing away and that I wanted to snake her, and that was just using her the whole entire season, just so that way I could try and make the end game so I could get my first win. And we were both so hurt, and I was so hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't sleep that night. I almost self-evicted at Final 3 because I realized that our friendship, our family relationship, pretty much that we have like that, means more to me than a game does.
Mm-hmm.
And she almost had done the same thing. And we ended up having a call the next day in which like we just let it out. We had a huge cry on call together, and it pretty much solidified the fact that we were taking each other, regardless of what happened at Final 3, to the end. It was going to be the two of us. Granted, she won on a vote. That was the tough pill to swallow, but she played an amazing game, and I can't ever, ever, ever put that past her.
In these games, you do make friendships, and you do have to open up. And I pride myself on my season that I won. That was the one time that I was most vulnerable. Vulnerable. I'm kind of tipsy, so I can't say the word. I think. Do you know what I'm saying? Vulnerable.
Yes,
You know?
vulnerable. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, um, I got really close to people, and I had to vote them out and betray them. And
Yeah.
at the end, it came to my attention months after winning that no one really wanted to vote for me because they felt so betrayed. And Austin has said this like to me, he's like that I do something that I tell them like I'm with you 100%, and they believe that, and I meant it,
Yeah.
and those relationships were real, and I
Yeah.
was vulnerable with them, and you have to be. Um, but at the end of the day, you have to. I wanted to win. I had gone fourth place twice. I have gotten to the
Yeah.
end, and I knew that I was too loyal in my other games, and that was my undoing. And so this time, I wanted to be like, do whatever it took to get to the end. And my question to you is like, do you do you think it's you have to be vulnerable in these games,
Yeah.
and how much do you do that?
Yes. I mean, it's bound to happen whether you want it or not. If you are true to the game, you will open yourself up. That's the only way to have true and honest conversations with people. And when you have those true and honest conversations with people, that's when you can start to have real honest game conversations, because you know that you can just talk to that person and they will be there to listen to you, or you can bounce ideas off of each other
Mhm.
honestly.
Would you say that you open yourself in most of your games, or do you kind of
Well,
like try to
definitely.
like
Definitely. Hands down. I've had real amazing conversations with so many people during so many games. And I'm not going to go into details because we share private information
mhm,
with each other, private, like heart to heart details.
mhm,
And that's when you know that, like, not only are you going to be appreciative of this person outside the game, but you can be friends with this person outside the game.
what has this last year and a half meant to you, meant to you as a player, as a fan of the show Survivor, and
So,
getting to actually play in orcs and meet so many people?
so I don't tweet very often, but I actually tweeted about this the other day,
Mhm,
and I it it takes a lot for me to open up and have that social growth and that self confidence to try and better myself and to want to succeed. I'll always put others first.
Mhm.
And I still will put others first because a lot of times it's the right thing to do. But this has shown me what I can to push myself to the limit in games and what my boundaries are when I'm playing games. Especially for the fact that if I ever do get to play that live game, what line I will never cross.
Mhm.
That's taking personal jabs at anybody. I will never, ever, ever, ever do that. Personal jabs will not get you far in the game, will not take you far in life. It'll just make things sloppy, miserable, and uncomfortable for everybody else. As a teacher, I hate it when things start to get messy, whether it be in the classroom. I literally was in my car. So I work in an inner city school. I was in my car waiting to get out of the parking lot. And then all of a sudden, I see one high school type kid sprint across the street and start a fight with a buddy of his against another kid and a 2-on-1. And there was nothing I could do sitting in my driver's seat to stop it from happening. And it killed me watching this happen, knowing that there was a dangerous situation that was about to unfold. Luckily, there was a cop there to break it up almost immediately. But it really just intensified that fact of being there for each other and showing that passion and that love for each other is so crucial, and especially in this community. I mean, we see people play these games from all walks of life, from all sorts of different countries. And it's amazing the connections and the bonds that we are able to build with each other and learn from each other. I've learned about other cultures throughout the country. I mean, whether it's cultures or just the way that your states are.
Mhm.
I've been in New England my whole entire life. So, I mean, I know nothing else but New England. So, to learn about the South, learn about the Mid Atlantic, learn about West Coast, learn about other countries, it's been so amazing to be able to reach out and stretch those social bonds that because normally when I'm just in a group,
Mhm.
if you throw me in a party with a whole bunch of people I don't know, it's going to take me a while to connect with those people. But if you put me
Really,
in a game,
you
oh yeah,
you you okay. To me, you're the life
oh
of the
yeah,
party. Like, because this is
oh
one of
yeah,
the questions. Like, were you always this outgoing? Because like I'm a shy
no,
person. Like
no,
I.
no, never. Like when I'm with people that I'm comfortable with,
Mhm.
this is personality.
Mhm.
But when you put me in a room of people that I don't know, I tend to shut down. Like I will be quiet.
Mhm.
I will. I mean, this is very keen to my game personality too. But I'm
Mhm.
very observant because I don't want to upset people in an environment that I don't know everybody. I don't want to be that social pariah.
Pariah was one of my alliance's names on season 10 because nobody wanted to work with us, me and Matt. And well, not really Gabe because like he was working both sides. But anyways, what has been the biggest advice or the best advice you've been given um, in real life and in orgs that you kind of take to every to with life and also in orgs? Do you like, you know what? I'm gonna use this.
Know who your real friends are.
Hmm.
Love them with all your heart and keep them close. because you never know when anything can happen, whether it be good, bad, amazing, horrible. You want to be there for them. And when you are there for each other, it's the most amazing thing.
And for orcs, or is it the same?
It's the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, like I said, those true, honest connections that you make with people, that's what's going to take you to the end. I mean, whether it's just even if you just make jury face together, you know you made it far in the game if you were able to make at least one or two special connections with somebody.
Mm-hmm. How do you handle negative energy, negative drama? Because like I have you as someone who's like very fun, just wants to have fun, play the game.
No,
And
you're
there's always
exactly
going to be drama. There's always going to be conflict. But how do you like navigate that and just like, what advice would you give to someone who's like, oh, like this is so much drama. I don't like someone who's not wants to be around that. And how do you handle
yeah.
that?
It's tough. It's not easy. I mean, as somebody that grew up being bullied for being the geek or the chubbier kid, I'm used to pulling the Rodney Dangerfield and turning it on them and
Mhm,
making fun of myself before they can make fun of me.
mhm,
So, I mean, I'm not going to turn to violence, or I'm not going to turn to any extra crazy aggression that I don't need to waste my energy on. And there, I mean, I look back to a couple years ago, and I'm going to bring it back to the theater. And when Hamilton won it was one of their Tonys that they won. Lin Manuel Miranda came on stage.
his speech with is that the one like love is love is love is love is love.
That's
I
exactly
played
what I
that.
was going to say.
I played that the other day when I don't know if you're in this chat, but I played that after episode 1 of 41.
Yeah,
Some of you know,
yeah,
um, some people had some opinions,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
I
and I
just
know
played
exactly
that,
where you're going with it. Yeah,
and I played that because I was like, all I'm gonna say is because I'm not someone
yeah,
to, and I regret this because one of the best advice, like to answer, because you answered it to me, was from Ingrid. She said, "You always use your voice to speak about something that you believe in."
yeah,
And that was the one time that I was like, you know what? I've always been this guy who was like wanted people to like me. But then I was like, I don't care if people don't like me. I'm gonna say what I feel and what's right for me. And I don't feel like I'm hurting anybody. And then I was like, love is love is love is love. And I went back and I played that on YouTube, his speech, and it was so emotional. And I think I
yeah,
told this to Dylan, and I was like, this is, I don't know, I just like to share that with him. And I was just like, wow. But yeah,
yeah.
go answer
Because I
your
mean,
question.
no, that's exactly right. I mean, I'm not the type of person to instigate confrontation,
Mhm,
but am going to be the type of person to try and be there, to try and be that good shoulder on somebody. I'm
mhm,
not going to try and be that evil shoulder on somebody to try and push them to take it to new limits, to promote violence against each other, because
mhm.
at the end of the day, we need to be there for each other. I don't care what environment you're in.
Mhm.
Positive energy will always outweigh negative energy.
Yes.
And that is why you will never see me unless I'm attacked. I will always be bringing the positive energy. and the light to whatever situation that I'm in. Whether it's an org, whether it's life. I look at today when I had to do my 5K mud run. My friend was so nervous that she was struggling. So the two of us held back, and I stayed with her the whole entire race while the rest of our friends ran off and did the race because they had the physical capabilities to do that. But I knew that my friend needed that extra support. So I was there for her, and we were there for each other.
Yeah. My next question is, how tipsy are you right now?
I'm definitely on the tipsy scale. I'm not completely drunk, but I'm definitely there.
Is there
But
anything you want to talk about, like, and how do you feel this interview has gone so far?
I think this has gone amazing. I mean, but I'm always gonna say that. Though. I'm never gonna say, "Oh, this fucking interview sucked." But
You could tell me. I mean, like, I as a I'm new to this. Like,
I
I've
literally, I mean,
I
this is how well the interview has gone. We've been talking. I literally look at the timer. I'm like, "Fuck, we're at 3 hours." So the fact that we have been able to talk about all this and we haven't been stale, we haven't gotten repetitive or anything like that. We've been able to talk about heartwarming topics, sad topics, laughable topics, and it's been a fun time. That's when you know that it is going to be a fun interview.
And to be fair, I would like
By
to
the
address.
way, by the way, all
Mhm.
4 balls are now empty. So suck it, buzz balls.
My bottle's almost gone too. So, I will say this, and I will address to anybody who's. I mean, because and Jeremy knows this, Dylan knows this, who watches Drag Race. Like, there's this saboteur, your inner saboteur, which is like, it's you. You're like, oh, you're not good enough. You're always like second thinking, like second, judging yourself, and you're like, and this is the same with board games where like you get paranoid, and you're like, oh my god, should I do this? I never wanted to be like, and I'm not trying to make a career out of this. This is just for fun, and I wanted to bring people here who would tell their journey, their story, and celebrate them. Like Austin said, like, celebrate John. Like,
Yeah.
this is your moment. Talk about
Yeah.
your journey, your struggles, your achievements, your lows, your highs, friendships, everything. Like
Yeah.
you said, because you've gone through a lot of things, and not just Survivor, but in life, and making those connections. And I never had that to like talk to people who love Survivor. I was a
No.
16-year-old who was looking for something fun to watch on YouTube, and then I was
Yeah.
like, I see like a thumbnail with like, oh, Maddie is gay on Survivor Gabon. Turns out he wasn't gay, but it was like YouTube had it like that, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever. Then I get hooked on, because not even because of the gay thing. I get hooked up because of a lot of the challenges and the social game.
Yeah.
And I started watching, and the fact that Survivor is now my favorite show. I have a TV. I don't watch TV. I only watch for Survivor. And the fact that now I get to talk to people who love Survivor just like me and know what I'm talking about. And that
Yes.
what crazy guy who ordered 3 freaking buffs for $86.99 on CPS for the new season of 41. It's fun. It's crazy, and I'm here for it. And there's people like you who I've met, and like, I know we don't talk every day, but like, we're on this chat and we're just like uplift each other, play Among Us. We're like that one round when we're like both imposters playing Among Us. That's what I take from this whole
Honestly,
thing.
that was the best fucking imposter round ever. The fact that the two
Really.
literally got to the end and
Mhm,
nobody took us out. That was amazing.
mhm. So yeah, I mean, like, it's been like, I don't think, like, I know that I make mistakes because I'm not like the best speaker. I stutter. I'm very awkward, and I am trying to embrace that because I know I'm not like Ryan Seacrest or like this radio host or whatever. Um, but I try to my best and I do it for fun. I always tell myself the minute I don't enjoy myself, I'll be like, someone take over, whoever wants to interview people. Um, and it was for me, it was like there's so many people that have played not just Corey Zork, but other people like you. You've played Broski in animation, and you have this wonderful stories that I would have never met if I had not played, season 9 and get to know you afterwards. So that's where this is all like to celebrate
Yeah.
people and like whatever they want to like talk about. So yeah.
I mean, it's so amazing supporting each other like this.
Hmm.
We have one person in our animation all stars game that even after he got out, he's like, I didn't deserve to be here. I'm not an all star.
Hmm.
I put on his boot post. I'm like, fuck you. You are an amazing
Hmm.
person. You definitely deserve to be here.
Hmm.
You had a great game. Keep your head held high. Awesome job. Even though you lost, this is an amazing accomplishment to make it this far and be here with everybody here. You have earned your title of All Star, and that will never get taken away from you.
Hmm.
And so, I mean, even though I was a pre-jury person, it was good to still just. I mean, it was great to poke fun at everybody during the challenges, but it was good to be there for everybody when they got voted out as well.
Is there any type of anytime you're like, I'm a teacher, I can't help but bring the teacher in me into like works and be like that supportive person that always like is like you said, you put people first before you and you have this selflessness that you want to
Yeah,
get to know them and make sure that they're okay.
yeah,
You've said that sometimes when you do make those connections, like in Big Brother with your final two, it's not worth it because like those connections are so great, those
yeah,
bonds that you're willing to like, I I need to put people first because
yeah.
yes, it's a game, but it's more than that right now at this
You're
point
exactly right. You're
because we
exactly right. I used to look back at it and laugh in Palau when Ian stepped down after 12 hours and threw away his game because so that way he could regain his honor and trust and friendship
Mhm.
with Tom. I had never understood that until last week when I had that trust and bond blow up with that near and dear friend of mine. Because there's no way that I could honestly harm somebody like that was that close to me just to try and win a game. That would be the lowest of low blows in my book.
Mhm. Is there anything that you want to do or take into the next org that you play, like a strategy? What has been a strategy that you always use, or do you tweak it every single time you play?
Take it one day at a time. That's the way I play every single org. You
Mhm.
can go into a game with a set mindset because the second that you do that, you will get taken out immediately. Because if you go into a game every single time with the same mindset, they'll be able to read you like a fucking open book. So expect the unexpected always and take it one day at a time.
Other than Survivor, is there? Do you watch Big Brother? And if so, how much do you compare? Do you use a Big Brother strategy with Survivor, or do you prefer Survivor overall?
It's very there is so much that is similar between the two games. Yeah, there's no element of the outdoors in Big Brother, but it's that element of competition.
Hmm.
But I mean, of course, I adopt some of the strategies from Big Brother into Survivor because, especially in orgs, I mean, we were playing that live game in our houses. So, I mean, you never know what you're going to be thrown with for an indoor comp. I mean, a couple times I have been taken outdoors for a couple comps, but other than that, you're inside. You're playing with everyday household objects that you have in your house. So, who knows?
I need to pee right now, so I'm gonna go to the bathroom. But what's one song that you want to listen to and kind of like just so I can play while I go pee, take a bathroom break?
You know what? I think it's about time we wrap it up.
Okay,
Amazing
good.
interview. We're at 3:15.
Mhm.
Let's some my way.
Okay,
And let's
take it
send
away.
everybody home. Let's send everybody home with some happy.
My name's John Stewart.
Let me get through the YouTube commercial, and we can have some fun. Because I kind of need to do the same.
Oh, okay.
All right. All right, slow down. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each chartered course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Yes, there were times I'm sure you knew when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall, and did it my way. I've laughed and cried. I've had my fill, my share of losing. And now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that. And may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, not me. I did it my way. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels. Not the words of who kneels. The record shows I took the blows, hit it my way. Oh yes, it was my way.
Woo. Thank you so much, John, for doing that. That was lovely. And
Oh,
before we leave, thank you so much for being here, for doing this interview, for doing this all drunk interview thing. It was great. I think we shared some great moments, deep moments.
yes.
Uh, Anything you want to say before you leave?
Well, thank you for having me. I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure to just be here and have some fun tonight and just
Hmm.
let loose emotionally, let loose, just have some fun
Hmm.
and a complete blast for all 3 hours and 20 minutes of it.
You are the longest interviewed so
I beat
far.
Austin.
You beat
Suck it, Austin.
Austin. uh, and there was never a dull moment. You have been an absolute hoot. You're a fun person. You're a loving person. Thank you so much. I'm glad that I got to talk to you. It's been amazing. I look forward to rooting for you in other games. You're hosting your game, Severus, season 2. Make sure you guys go and apply. You're looking for a new game. It's a fun theme, and I'm sure it's going to be a fun time. So please go check it out. They will do season apps soon for season 2. Thank you so much, Sean. You have been an amazing interviewed. Tribute. I don't know. I'm mixing that word. I'm kind of fucking tipsy right now. Uh, but before we go, I always do this for every interview. Anything you want to say before? Any last
I
words?
love you all. I love you all. Stay safe. Good night.
And on that note, I'm gonna play this. You should know this because you're a fan. But that is all we have for tonight. It's been a crazy, emotional roller coaster. On my end, I'm in John's end. It's been fun. It's been emotional. It's been crazy. But most of all, it's been enjoyable. John's amazing. Thank you so much for being here, guys. It's been another episode of The Life is Spoken, and your life has spoken. Thank you so much. We'll see you for another episode next time. Thank you, John. You're amazing.
Thank you, Ed.
And that's all we have. So, bye, guys.